Hello! Welcome back to Girls Run These Worlds. This is the finale of our campaign of Upriver Downriver. We have had 3 sessions so far. If you're jumping in now, boy howdy, I hope you figure out what the story is. But if not, then maybe watch it back on YouTube, which is a thing that you can do. If you've been sticking with us each week on our journey on the river, then thank you for sailing with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed it as much as we have.
I'm having a great time.
I'm your GM, Ella Watts. My pronouns are she, her. And I'm gonna cough real quick.
Oh no.
I know, the end of the world, truly. And as mentioned, I'm running Upriver Downriver. Upriver Downriver is a game that I made. It's published by MacGuffin & Company, which is a small indie publishing studio. And generally speaking, it's a high fantasy game that deals with some heavy themes. I always say, think like Princess Mononoke or Lord of the Rings, in terms of the fact that it's a high fantasy world that deals with themes of war, grief, death, and environmental destruction. Please also be aware in terms of trigger warnings that it deals with themes of fantasy discrimination as well. We will make every effort to address these themes with compassion and respect, but please be kind to yourself and only watch if you feel able to do so. In the lighter side of things, we are giving away this game if you particularly want a copy of it. There is a PDF copy worth £15. I don't know what that is in your American dollars. Probably like 20, 30. There we go. It's even more than I thought. If you want to enter the giveaway, then you can do so by doing a command in the chat. I don't know how Twitch works. But hey, we're giving away
exclamation upriver.
Yeah.
Whoa, see, I love my players. Speaking of how much I love my players, I would love it if the cast would please introduce themselves. What I would like you all to do is give me your real name and pronouns, your character's name and pronouns, your role path and origin, and tell me a river that you would like to visit. We are going to start with Amber.
Hello, my name is Amber Devereaux. My pronouns are they, them. I am playing Tarai, who is an elf, first mate aboard the Prestige, following the path of the Wheel of Fortune. One river I would love to visit. I've always wanted to visit the Mississippi River. There's loads of places along that river that I've always wanted to visit, and I've never got the chance.
God, me too. Like when we talked about this a little bit before the stream, and I just kept thinking, how has no one mentioned the Mississippi? Like, I would love to visit the Mississippi. Okay, next up, Zania. Please introduce yourself.
Well, hi, I'm Zania Fernandez. My pronouns are they, them. I'm playing the wonderful Captain Faye Half Moon, who follows the path of the sun, which, by the way, the sun took me back. Let's go! She is a river folk and a river that I want to visit. I'm not going to say the other answer because I remembered another river I actually want to visit, which is the Colorado River.
Genuinely, right before we went live, Xenia was like, Colorado!
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's the word, Colorado!
I do kind of want to put you on blast for wanting to visit the Thames, though.
No, listen, there's a valid reason.
Of all the rivers in the world, the Thames.
I'm gonna doubt the whole
because it
valley
doesn't look.
part of that.
Okay, so you're calling me out. The valid reason is I can't pronounce it. It doesn't look like it's Thames. It looks like Thames or something. So it's like, okay, why would a river be named something that ridiculous? I want to see this river.
I think you're testing the meaning of the word valid there.
I don't think visiting the Thames is gonna teach you the pronunciation
It's just the most freaking answer I've ever heard. It's like, what's up with this?
The river will open your mind to the skills and magic of linguistics.
What I really
It won't. It's a dirty, disgusting river.
Yeah, exactly.
If you swim in it, you'll get sick.
I didn't know you were supposed to go in the river for your answer.
No,
My
we don't
God.
go in the river.
Don't go
in
in
the
the
Thames.
Don't go in the Thames. Like, if anyone is familiar with the Discworld series by Sir Terry Pratchett, GNU, like, I need you to understand the Thames is the Thames is the solid sludge. Is what the Thames is. Anyway,
it is poop. It is pure poop.
we're gonna move on to our introductions. So next up, Lily, please could you introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Lily. My pronouns are she, they, and I am playing Sela today, who is the halfling gunner, following the path of strength, and she is a ghost. So, you know, our captain's not alone.
And do you have a river you'd like to visit?
Sela's pronouns are she, they as well, and a river I would like to visit is the Rio Grande.
That's such a valid choice. That is such a great choice. I think amazing work, Lily.
It's a fair enough choice, yes. Although I really hate the heat, so I mean, there's like only 4 months out of the year that I would actually want to be where it is. So I don't know.
honestly, fair swings and roundabouts. Okay, next up, Shahik, please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Shavik. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Aldred Sprigmore, your friendly doctor of death. And I'm also a halfling, which is sad in my case. But I don't know why I said that. Also, my favorite, no, not
That's how you feel.
favorite river, that's not the question. The river I would like to visit, I'm gonna go with Chicago River, because I've got somebody in Chicago, and that's like a fucking loophole. You go to the river, you're in Chicago, so
I like it. Hack to visit a friend. Rivers, what are rivers if not roads? Okay, and last but not least, Casey, please introduce yourself.
I just love watching you get so excited about rivers. I'm so happy. Hello, I'm Katie. She, they pronouns. I'm playing Jove with he, him pronouns. He is the ship's cook and old man. His path is and I got here late because I slept in, so I did just Google the best river in the world, which apparently is the Caño Cristales in Colombia, the River of Five Colors. It looks very pretty, but really the river that I want to visit the most is the one in that famous painting of Ophelia just being like super dead in that cool river with the flowers. That's what I want to go. I want to be Ophelia.
That's incredibly valid. I did also just look at the River of Five Colors, and oh my gosh, I need to make
it is really
game.
it's really pretty.
Okay, hold on, now I gotta Google it. Hold on a second.
Everyone watching, go Google it right now. Turn this off, go Google it and come back.
It's pretty.
My dear beloved players, we are on a stream. Let's stay focused.
Never.
Okay. It is.
I changed my answer to this one, but yes. Okay.
Yes, I won the river challenge.
you definitely did win the river challenge. Okay, so let's play a game.
Okay.
This is Upriver Downriver. We are in our 4th and final session of the campaign. Upriver Downriver is a game that is designed for short, limited campaigns with definite endings. When you start your journey, you pick whether or not you're trying to go to the source or the sea, and then you have to go continuously up or downriver. You can't go backwards. You can't stay in one place for too long. You can't leave your ship. You swear an oath to reach your destination, and if you die, your ghost keeps going towards your destination. The only way that you don't make it is if your whole crew dies, and then your ship becomes a ghost ship, cursed forever to wander the tide.
Which also sounds pretty cool.
I mean, hey, like infinite purgatory, it's all right. Then if you get to the source, your oath is fulfilled, and when your oath is fulfilled, the magic that is holding you to the river as a ghost passes away, and you move on unless you are resurrected before you fulfill your oath, or you break your oath and remain forever as a ghost, just to be a ghost sailor instead. You've got a lot of choices. Because we are in our 4th and final level of the game, all of our players have leveled up and have gotten lots of cool new powers, including Tarai, who is a first mate of the Wheel of Fortune, and this time at the start of the session gets to do 4 rolls, which they will be able to use to replace anyone else's rolls at any other point. Amber, please could you do the honors?
Will do.
Good rolls, good rolls.
While you do that, I'm just gonna shove my pile of laundry out of view because I thought I had shoved it to the right side of the couch, and I did not.
Oh no!
That's 2 11s to start off with. So that's a good,
Ooh,
some good numbers.
go.
Give me good
Good
numbers,
lord.
Jimmy.
You and that good gambling.
Yeah, it makes up for the terrible rolls I have in game. Uh,
Feels safe.
that's an 8 and a 6. So we're
Okay,
we're
11,
all
11,
over.
8, and 6 on a d12. Good to know. So, Amber Tarai can use these rolls to replace any other person's rolls, either another player character with their consent, an NPC, and like to either like advantage or disadvantage them, or indeed Amber's own rolls as Tarai. So where we're up to, you all started in Meadowbrook, all journeys start in Meadowbrook, but the first place that we went to on the stream was the valleys. You went to Harton, you performed a Bravery Day at Courage Falls, you actually won Bravery Day at Courage Falls, which was a big deal for all of you, but especially for Sela, who for so long had longed to be a part of that celebration and proved herself to not only be like part of Halfling culture, but to be like an exemplary example of Halfling culture, which was pretty rad. After you went to the valleys, you moved on to the floating gardens, where things went a little hectic. You went to the pirate city, you saw the pirate queen, you met her wife, although you did not know she was her wife at the time. You found the second piece of the map to the Crystal Nets, this mythical urban legend of a map that will apparently help you navigate the labyrinthine, magical cursed tunnels under the mountain that prevent people from finding the source and surviving. But then, whilst you're in the floating gardens, the Raft City was attacked by a human imperial ship captained by Captain Nathaniel Chanticleer, is captaining the treasure and claims that he will be the first person to claim the source for the human empire. He opened fire on the gardens and killed a lot of people very fast. Aldred and Tarai did what they could to help, and Faye ran off to kind of catch the human imperial spy who had been like an advanced guard or a scout or something here. But unfortunately, Faye lost track of that human, and in an alley, crying, this human woman who seems to have the magical ability to make herself invisible said she has no choice, she's so sorry, and shot Faye in the back of the head. Faye communed with the river and found herself rejected by the sun, and at the same time, unbeknownst to us until our 3rd episode, Sela had found her way to the floating gardens and was in the midst of all this chaos and couldn't find her crew. And Sela, in just a cruel joke of fate, was killed by accident in the crossfire. She doesn't even know who killed her, she doesn't even know if they did it on purpose. And her ghost reappeared on our ship, the Prestige, with the ghost of Captain Faye Halfmoon. You went onto the buried river. Magically, your ship was pulled down with Tarai at the helm with a piece of the crystal map in their pocket, as your ship was magically sunken below the waves into the last hideout, the last refuge of the former elves of the Glass Road, whose settlements were razed by the human empire at the start of the war. And whilst you were in the buried river, Tarai had to try and convince the elves to allow them, the youngest elf possibly on the entire river, to go and do what is a deeply dangerous mission with a high chance of fatality. And eventually they were able to convince the captain of the guard, Nicola Milonas, to let them go. But when you kind of went through the library to the place where allegedly there's this secret passage to the crystal nets which leads to the source of the river, you realize that the humans had come ahead of you. They'd blown up the door, they'd knocked over the shrine, and you saw their ship retreating down into the flooded tunnels that lead deep, deep below the mountains. In your rush to follow them, you briefly had to swim through the deep river, and swimming through the deep river injured Jove. He re-broke his injured leg, which caused him a lot of pain, obviously, and may or may not continue to be a problem for him. You got on the ship, you turned it around, you attempted to navigate into the crystal nets. However, you failed. You each, in a panic, drew various communions with the river, and Zania, as Captain Faye Halfmoon, drew a Blessing of the Hanged Man. The Blessing of the Hanged Man says, trust the river. Let it choose where you go next. You chose to do that. Your ship was dragged onwards, and where we ended last session was at the top of a waterfall as your ship fell over the edge.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I also forgot about that.
We've all been stuck in freeze frame. Just
Yeah.
you have indeed.
You just cut to us all going.
Now, just a couple of other details that I would like us all to bear in mind. Faye currently has the Blessing of Judgment, which will allow her to forgive an old wrong. Seela and Aldred both have blessings from the Empress. Specifically, Seela has enhanced sight and Aldred has enhanced hearing. Tarai and Jove have the Blessing of the Star, giving them an additional communion with the river at a point of their choosing. And finally, Seela has the Curse of the Wheel of Fortune, causing her to critically fail when she would otherwise succeed.
I do also have the blessing of, what is it, the Wheel of Fortune, which is reverse a death once.
Oh, yes.
Will I use it?
Right, yes. Aldred has the Blessing of the Wheel of Fortune, which will allow her to reverse a death. However, if she does so, she loses her path, and the god of the river turns away from her.
I also have the Blessing of the Lovers.
Oh, and yes, of
You
course,
do!
Jove, very importantly, has the Blessing of the Lovers. Jove, a human man from a human city, who
Yes,
has
that's where
tried
humans are from.
Well, I not necessarily. No, you've traveled the world.
That's true.
Not every human lives in the city.
That's fair.
yeah, come on, Jove. You know this.
You specifically don't live in the city, but you are who has been attempting to make reparations with the various magical peoples of the river, in part because of the besmirched name of his parents, who variously across the course of the campaign we have learned helped magical peoples maybe to find refuge to get away from the war, but also we learned last lesson the Aeneas family famously won the war for the human empire. They were crucial in betraying various communities. They were crucial in destroying various communities. The Aeneas name is not one to be worn with pride in most places.
That's why Jove don't have no last name.
And that's a good point, actually. Just before we get into resolving whatever the heck happens when you fall off this waterfall, let's remember how the war started, because Jove
I
has the
just want
Blessing of
to
the
real
Lovers.
quick before you get into that, because I also have another blessing, the Blessing of Justice.
Oh yes, you do. Oh yes. Oh,
So many
it's
blessings.
exciting. We've done many communions with the river, and I very much enjoy the faces of the river that have engaged with us and have not. Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so how did the war start? Before we resolve, I'm just holding you all in the air over this waterfall. Before we resolve that, how did the war start? According to legend, urban legend, history, according to the Human Empire, 70 years ago, the Human Empire sent miners up to the canyons, and they began to try and mine for gold. According to generally all peoples of the river, the humans enslaved the Kiwi. They imprisoned them based on cruel superstitions about the Kiwi being able to sense gold because of their crystalline forms. In response to that violence, according to the Human Empire, the river folk ordered the elves to go up and destroy the town, and the elves kind of started the war by killing this town of human miners. The Human Empire responded to that first act of violence by razing all of the elven settlements on the Glass Road. The elves went into hiding, the magical peoples variously united against the Human Empire, and over many decades of struggle, eventually have ended in this sort of stalemate where occasionally skirmishes happen. Halfling settlements will be attacked by the Human Empire. Generally, magical peoples cannot go south of the river or anywhere where the Human Naval Empire or the Human River Police patrol. And in the north of the river, in the Glass Road, humans like Jove can walk freely, but are treated with some suspicion, certainly by magical people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're at. And whether or not that will ever be resolved and how, we don't know. We know that Crown Nereus, the man who started the war, is dead. We know that his child, Crown Laume, no one even knew existed until recently, but has appeared seemingly out of nowhere and may or may not do something different. That doesn't really matter to you all, because you have sailed upriver, underground, miles underground, and right now the most important thing that matters to you all is that you're falling off a waterfall.
Oh boy.
Your ship tumbles over the edge. The Prestige. And as she falls, you see that you have about a 400 foot drop to the water below. This is mountainous. This is a fall of impossible size. You fall. The wind rushes past you, the smell of water on stone, this kind of mineral scent, the mist and the water smacks up into your faces, your clothes are soaked, and you are just tumbling through the air. I would like you all please to give me a swords roll, and if you don't have the dexterity knack, you are rolling at disadvantage.
Oh, fuck me. All right.
Is that a D?
I don't have dexterity, and I also don't have one working leg, so this is going to be great.
Yeah.
Right.
And
What is this? What is
What is the dexterity knack? I don't know that one.
it is one of the prowess snacks.
But I didn't see that either.
I don't. That is
wish I'd
not
taken that.
there.
Oh no, well,
Ooh.
we are all learning an editing thing because it is in the first mate one, so I think that what's happened is we didn't translate it across to prowess. Okay, we'll say if you don't have the climbing knack.
I do have the climbing knack.
I don't.
Wait.
I didn't take
I
any of
do
those
not.
knacks.
Oh, I definitely have the climbing knack, so.
Yeah.
So I have the dexterity knack, so I got a 19 there.
Hey, also Lily, you also would have disadvantage from your fear of heights.
That's what I was about to say. She doesn't have the climbing knack because she is acrophobic. So why
Yeah.
would she climb?
Could I re-roll this, please?
If you are rolling on, you know what? To be fair, this is one of the things that your ability should help you with. So yeah, you can.
I'm starting off strong. I got a 19.
That is another one again.
Just
No!
like
What's
that.
happening? It's an 8 overall.
Would you like one of my numbers?
Could I? Please?
I rolled a 9.
Okay.
What-
So what are your swords?
Oh, overall the number is 8. So
Oh right. Okay. Would an 8 help you? Or would you prefer an 11?
oh
But
wait, so
8
it's
plus
before
8
my
plus
swords, isn't it?
16.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the number, and then you add your swords.
Yeah, and a
Yes.
16 is a legendary success, so it's reasonable to assume that a 16 would get you past this.
And an 8 wouldn't.
Absolutely not.
Nope.
Would you like an 8? Thank you.
Okay, I'll give you an 8.
Would a 9? Would a 9 get you past?
Nope.
Katie, what are your swords?
I have some bad news for you, Try. It's a 1.
What do you mean?
Oh, I'm
Oh
so
my God.
sorry. I got
I'm
nothing.
min-maxed! I'm min-maxed!
How?
I've got 11 in tongues and 9 in spirits and a 1 in swords because I don't
Wait,
fucking
11 in
play
tongues?
things.
You
And,
should
yeah.
have 10 in tongues because you can have a maximum of 10 in any one stat. If you would like to make that a 2 in
Kidding.
swords, you can.
Great.
My 10 is in my sword, so woohoo.
Why did that sound dirty to me?
I
Amazing.
don't have a 10.
Okay, so if that's the case, then it's a 10.
Hey,
It's a
question.
legendary success. How is 10 not a pass?
Well, it depends on how difficult the thing is. So, for example, I would say if you're falling off a 400-foot waterfall, Katie, how
That's pretty hard.
difficult do you think?
I mean, I think Jove is smart. He would have lashed himself to the deck or something. I don't know.
He didn't know.
Or to Tarai.
Focus up. We're already half.
Sorry.
We're already
I'm so
half an hour
sorry.
into our stream. Hey, this is the chaotic energy you came for. I want to just check what each other person got before we resolve yours, Katie.
Great.
So Tarai, what did you get?
19 overall.
Faye,
18.
Sela,
I got a
Solidarity.
my it was I think it's because my swords are so high. I was like, wait, really? A 15. Yeah.
Hey, okay. Aldred,
16.
okay. And Jove, you've got a 10.
Yeah. Sure do.
Okay. So the people
That's
in
correct.
this group who got below 16 are Sela and Jove. Okay. Here's what happens.
Oh god, you needed a whole 16 to just pass?
Yeah.
It's a 400-foot waterfall, baby.
I mean,
And
it
level
is.
4 at the end of the campaign.
I don't know if
Um,
this might be a spoiler for you, but that's really tall.
Ella, is this a place where I could use a ghost ability?
Oh, what ghost ability do you want to use?
Well, I don't know if this would work, but calm water I have.
Why do we keep taking
I
the same
think
ghost?
it's beautiful to me that is where your mind went, but unfortunately in this case that will not apply.
Oh, gravity's
Because
the problem here.
exactly, like the fact that the water is stormy is not going to be the problem. It's going to be the height and the fall. Calming the water will not help. Okay, so here's what happens. The ship tumbles over the edge. This is such a height that it's not just that the ship falls down nose first. She tumbles. She fully rotates. You are all thrown from the ship. Stuff is falling from the ship. Ropes are falling from the ship. Crates are falling from the ship. Anything that was on deck. Things that are below deck. Things are smashing. The water is coming with you. You fall and you fall and you fall. Tarai, you are able, as you are falling, to grab a rope and essentially lasso it around an outputting rock and like start like kind of using the momentum to swing across to break your fall. Aldred, you are able to grab the sail and tear off a bit of sail and essentially use it as a parachute. You are basically like letting the wind catch you.
Fuck yeah! I'm flying, bitch.
Wild.
And Faye, what do you have the ghost ability flying?
I don't remember actually. Let me see.
It's okay. If you don't.
I do not.
That's cool. So Faye, what happens to you is the part of you that is riverfolk. As you are falling, you feel this mist and you feel your spirit, your ghost, whatever it is, kind of just melding with the mist, and you go from kind of like falling like ceaselessly through the air to becoming like part of the water flow, and you flow with the waterfall down into the water. However,
Weird flex, but okay.
um,
As he's splattered against the rocks.
I can't help it. I'm a fish person.
However, Sela, you as a ghost, halflings don't have the same relationship with the water that the riverfolk do, and you are bound to this ship by your oath. So here's what happens to you. You can't let go of the ship. As it tumbles, as it wheels, as you fall through the air at ever-increasing speed until suddenly you're moving so fast you can't go any faster. You are just locked to the wood. You feel like your feet are locked in. Shaik.
Damn it, Jim? Question mark?
Huh?
Damn it, Jim? My ability?
Oh, unfortunately not. This is a ship battle. This is not a ship battle. I'm so sorry. That is another great call, but unfortunately not in this case. Sela, you're locked to the ship, which means that when she hits the water and completely shatters, you feel yourself shattering with her. Jove,
What's up?
you're an old man. You have
Sure
a broken
am.
leg.
Yep.
You
I have a
are
broken face.
not as strong as you used to be. You just
Please don't die!
So that is, I mean, hey, listen, that is, it's lots. That 15, 21, 22, 25, 29, 30, 32 damage.
Oh, that's
I'm
so
gonna
much damage.
assume. However, we do have a safety tool on like instant death. What I am gonna say is, Sela, there is magic in this water, but this is not a magical death. Your character is not going to be killed in this moment. Sela, what happens to you is you take a lot of damage. What is your maximum HP?
This is my maximum HP is 24.
24. So you go down to 1.
That's fine. That's good enough for me. I can bring it back.
As Sela, like the magical, it's not just the shattering of the ship, right? It's not just the physical shattering of the ship. Your oath is woven into the timber of this ship. Every shard of wood, every fiber of rope is your oath made physical. And as your ship is destroyed, the oath that is holding the ghosts here is also massively frayed. Faye for now like was able to kind of hold on to the magic of the river itself and use that to protect her, but Sela was not, and so Sela like takes the punch to the oath. And you are massively weakened as you feel your oath shattering around you. but not quite broken yet. When it breaks, both of our ghosts move on and cannot be held here any longer. And unless it breaks, all of our surviving crew members will drown if you cannot fix your ship in 72 hours. Right now, the largest piece of your ship is maybe 10 inches.
Oh,
God!
Wait. Hang on.
Don't let go,
Before
Jove.
we do this, Jove, Katie,
Hi.
obviously, if you die as a person, you come back as a ghost. So it's slightly different to a completely sudden character death. However, we do have a safety tool in place. Are you okay if Jove dies in this moment and becomes a ghost?
It's the game, yo. He fell off a cliff. Like I don't see how I don't see what kind of DM mechanics you can keep me from dying as an old man with 12 hit points as he falls off a 400-foot waterfall.
Oh, Joe.
damn, you really hit him with the see you
12
later
max?
alligator, my god.
It would be a challenge. So
Yeah.
in that case, Casey,
Mm.
Jove dies.
Yup.
Jove feels the wind rushing past him. He feels the water. He sees his friends. He doesn't know what's happened to them. He sees the ship shatter, and he hears the gunshot thunder of this ship just shattering in this cavern. It is like it has hit solid stone. Right from this height, the water is unforgiving as granite, and you feel that in your body when you hit it too. But thankfully for you, the impact is brief and instant. And then it's almost like the water goes from being solid beneath you into soft, and you sink and you sink and you sink, and you see like bubbles coming up out of your mouth as you sink into this sort of perfect cool temperature water that is this infinite river full of stars. And there is water going on as far as you can see forever in front of you, and all around you it is a water of infinite depth. And as you are sinking in that water, a figure comes walking across it towards you, a tall, androgynous figure in a robe wearing a mask. And they look at you. Huh. Okay. All right, hang on a second.
Is this you
What do you
or
mean,
the
what do you mean,
masked
what do you mean,
figure?
what do you
Because
mean,
I was gonna
I mean, he's like, fuck.
I don't like that noise.
Mask figure's sassy this time.
Hey, fingers crossed you got a blessing, man. I'm here for you.
You know what is very interesting to me? Is you all came here, you got here in this way thanks to the blessing of the Hanged Man. That was what got you here. The Hanged Man gave you the blessing to kind of trust the river to take you where you need to go.
Mhm. Yeah, thanks, Faye.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna what I find very interesting is that you just drew the blessing of the Hanged Man. So here's how I think that resolves.
Must be a good thing. Must be a good thing.
Honestly, he's like, I already was like, Jove is fine with this. Like, he's old. He's like, it's fine. Like, he's already okay.
Okay, because I think normally the blessing of the Hanged Man is you trust the river to let you travel somewhere of your choosing. The path blessing of the Hanged Man is that with consent you can change your own form or the form of another permanently. I think that in this particular case, Casey,
Mm.
I think that the Hanged Man will let you choose either of those blessings or a third, which is at a time of your choosing, you can reverse a death, I think. If you want to take that blessing. Now, many of you will have heroic feats as 4th level players anyway, but what I will say is that I think the Hanged Man in particular, if...
Can I secret message you on Discord for one
Yes,
more
you
fucking
can.
hour? Okay.
The drama with the secrets. Oh.
Just like all in like right at the beginning.
Yes, 3 off a waterfall is fine.
Freaking out.
We've got enough time to resolve everything. I'm not worried. It's all good. So I think
Look at my beautiful ship while they type.
It's so pretty.
That's a nice ship.
I love a good ship.
So
Okay.
Ella, can I ask you,
Yes.
is there like a way to quantify how much more of the oath still exists for Seal? The next
It's what I want you to do is give me a spirits roll. Give me a d12 plus your spirits.
Okay. And my spirits are not great. It is an 11.
You are not sure. You know that the ship being destroyed is bad.
Mhm.
You know that the ship, in a lot of ways, constitutes and quantifies your oath, and without the ship, and with the ship in its current state, your oath is in massive jeopardy. And if, for example, these remains were to be burned, that would be it. Your oath would be completely destroyed.
Would that be the same for Faye as well, or is that just for?
That would be the same for all of you, for
Okay,
Faye and
okay.
Jove as well.
Gotcha.
But yes, someone with a greater connection to either spirits or tongues and the lore of the river would need to give you more detail. You're not completely sure. But Sela, you are noticing that like the edges of your form are fraying, like your body is like kind of like seeming to dissolve. It's torn a bit. And Faye, when you emerge from the water, you also notice this. You are much more faded. For people watching at home and for our players, Jove, this figure of the hanged man wearing this mask kind of bends down and looks at you, and it touches you with one hand made of gnarled driftwood. And when it touches you, you hear suddenly the laughter of your parents, and you see in your mind a Kiwi person shape-shifting from one form to another so that they can go outside, and you see your parents putting makeup and clothes on elves and river folk and halflings to get them out of the city. And you see all the different ways that so many people's lives were transformed so they could begin again on a new path safely by your parents specifically. And you feel a warm love from the hanged man as it touches you. And then it lets go and disappears. And you wake up and you are a tattered, fraying ghost in the debris and ruins of your ship.
Does my leg still hurt?
No, it doesn't.
Fuck yeah. See, this is the best.
Now, Casey, you will get to take 4 ghost abilities. You can look those up during our break or right now, because some other stuff is going to happen for some of our other players.
Yeah, you do
make
stuff.
sure
I'll
you
look
get
up.
those.
What page of the ghost things?
Boop, boop, boop. That's what I was looking at, and then I gave up, and I shouldn't have. Give me a minute.
It's by the card, so I want to say it's like in the 70s or the 80s. Where
Yeah,
are you?
it's page 121, ghost abilities.
I was way off.
Yeah, knows
But
what.
you were right. It's by the cards. It's at the end of the communion section.
What
Okay.
I'm confused about is, can I heal a ghost? Can I do surgery on a ghost?
You will have to do some good spirits rolls. You can heal a ghost, but it's difficult. Much more difficult than healing a person. But before we do that, Sela, you notice something with your super sight. So you are currently in this massive underground lake. The sound of the waterfall crashing down into that lake is never ending and constant. It echoes around this huge, wet, dark cavern. And there are various tunnels kind of leading out in different directions. It's difficult to know where you are, how deep you are, what's going on. But Sela, you notice a kind of rippling reflection of pink-purple light off in one direction. Now, what you've heard is that the crystal nets are these bioluminescent, these glowing crystal tunnels. And you know that one of these tunnels, one of these 7 kind of dotted around this cavern, definitely leads towards something that is giving off light.
Okay.
You also know that you have 72 hours to fulfill your oath, or the 3 of you are gone forever.
Sure. Um,
Oh, sorry, no, that's not true. The two of you who are left who are alive will drown, and your ghost ship will be cursed to wander forever until you forget who you are and you wander eternally.
Okay, that's
Way
fine.
better.
Sick.
We'll all be
It's,
hanging
it's,
out
very,
together
it's
for a
very
bit.
cheerful.
together.
But hey, we'll be together as a family again. Yay!
Forever.
I have a question.
Yes.
So it's about heroic feats. I have the Break Oath heroic feat. I take it I can only apply this to one person.
Yes.
Right, I thought that might be the case. Okay, that's a conversation for later. Okay.
So, Sela, you notice this light. Do you do anything about it?
I mean, well, first, you know, she's like in the wreckage of the boat, and it's like a massive shock. And I mean, considering she knows the nature of her oath and can feel that there's like things are going wrong right now, I feel like she's gonna like try to be like gathering as much as she can in this water, like pieces of the ship. She'd be like, oh, we need this, you know. But look around and see where everyone else is, and then probably just like shout out their names and say something, and then point like toward the where the light is coming from. Something is coming from that direction. I think we should go down that. It's like a tunnel or like a cavern?
Like a tunnel. You are in a cavern, and there is a tunnel leading out of it that is giving off light.
Okay. Yeah. And I would say, and I think we should hurry very quickly, fast as we can. Like, I think she uses like 10 different like adjective synonyms for
hurry.
fast.
Tari's just lying exhausted on the shore, just being like, yeah. No, I get it.
I'm floating down slowly, but I'm like looking up and like.
Yeah, I mean, like, Aldred, you
Just
land in
grab
the
what you
water,
can.
and when you come up out of this freezing cold water, and for a moment that the fabric that was helping you, it starts pulling you down, because as it gets wetter, like, it becomes very heavy, and it just drags, and you kind of let go. You come back up, surface, catch your breath. It's cold in this cavern, it's cold in the water, and you see Jove, dead. Just
Well,
like,
I can't tell that he's dead yet, so I'm gonna run to Jove at first, and
you
then
will need to swim, but yes.
I can. I have the swimming back.
Yeah.
I can swim.
No, you can't, Jove. You can't.
So I swim to my dead friend, and I make sure that, well, I don't make sure, I check if they're still alive is what I am doing, and then I'm like, okay, no time to be sad about that, and I think from up above, when I was floating down, I would have seen Sela. And is there any magical way that we can that is visible on a ghost that they're really hurt?
Oh yeah, she's physically falling apart. She's visibly falling apart. Like she, the pieces of her, like the image of her is like torn cloth, and like it's barely recognizable as Sela anymore. Like big chunks are missing. It's very visibly torn. It looks painful. It's very obvious she is barely clinging on to this world.
So I'm gonna run to Sela. I'm like gonna just. I was flying down. I looked at the ship. I looked down. All of that is happening. I just kind of am like, right, back into calculating mode. And no time to feel emotions right now. So I'm gonna run to Sela, and I'm gonna try to do major surgery, which is an ability I have.
Cool. And the way that this is going to work with, it's basically you're going to do magic. You're going to do magic to fix this ghost. So what I want you to do is give me a d12 plus your spirits.
Yes. And then if it works, if it doesn't, I'll explain what the this looks like, flavor-wise. D12. Cool. Let's make that my turtle dice plus spirits. That's a 9. Please. That's a 3 plus 9. So may I re-roll that, please?
You may re-roll. How
Thank
many
you.
re-rolls have you got left? 2 more left after this.
2 more after this, yeah. But hey, Tarai can give us some gifts,
You
How
still
many
have
rerolls
so
does
much
Try
more stuff
have
to do.
left? Yeah.
We're gonna
All
hold
you've done
on
is
to
fall
that.
off a cliff.
6 + 9, 15. Does that do anything?
Not quite. Again, this is mostly going to be the legendary successes session, and to heal a ghost with magic, you are going to need to do the impossible.
Can I
a little
assist?
bit.
I
I've
do
got minor
have-
surgery. Is that?
I'm gonna say yes. So you
Okay.
can roll one more time, Aldred.
Oh my lord! Please.
But also,
why am I
actually,
rolling
before
so
you
badly?
spend that,
Oh.
so does the medicine rolls like work on a person? Like if I was like, oh, I'm gonna try and help you out, can I help out if I have a medicine roll?
What I'm going to say is we're not spending a resource here. We're just letting Tarai help Aldred by the fact that they also have medicine. I'm going to say that it is harder to use the medicine to restore yourself, especially when you are as injured as Sela is, because I think
Okay.
that she's probably not as able to concentrate on that.
Holding your
But
blood.
it's worth knowing for like lighter injuries, I would allow it.
Okay. Awesome.
Hello.
Please, my lord. I don't like you
Sorry,
saying
there's-
that.
There's the cutest bird outside.
What did you get?
It's worse than all of the other previous rolls.
Okay. Alrighty, I will say 4 and we're done. The choice left is Tarai, you can substitute one of your rolls. I have said that you will need a legendary success, which is a 16. Aldred's spirits is 9. If you choose to spend one of your rolls, you can, and Sela can be healed. If not, Sela will not be
So,
healed.
what was the success? Sorry, 16. Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
Aldred,
a
take
9.
one of the 11s. Take an 11.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Thank you, I appreciate it, but what a waste. But 20, yes. Does
So-
that do
Not a
anything?
waste. Not a
Does that
waste
do
at
That's
all.
not a way. What?
No, I'm
It's
saying
nice to save one of us.
that is not what I meant. You know very well that's not what I meant.
So here's what happened.
Oh boy.
First of all, Jove is dead.
I know, right? I was
Jove,
like, I've got lots of things I could do to help here, but I'm still just like waiting for a chance to step in and say howdy.
Don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, I don't, you know.
particularly sad about Jove's death is A, no one saw it, and B, his body is gone. Like you cannot, it's sunk into the lake here, and you are not unlikely ever to get it back. Jove is dead. Jove is on the remnants of your ship. Faye, you will notice that as you kind of emerge from the waterfall, that another member of your crew has died, that there are only 2 left alive, that you are getting very close to all of them being gone and it becoming impossible for you to fulfill your oath. And the fact that your ship is destroyed is just one more part of that. Aldred sees that Sela is falling apart and moves over there. Sela is kind of telling us all, and actually, you know, Lily, if it's okay with you, the joke you made earlier about Sela kind of coming up with all these different synonyms for like as quick as you can and like, you know, go and like all of that stuff. I'm gonna suggest that actually part of the reason you started doing that is you started going into that glitching ghost territory of like you just got a little bit stuck. You just got a little bit like you couldn't help but just keep coming up with little synonyms, if that's okay with you. So Sela is on the edge of destruction. And Aldred sees that, swims out of the water, gets up onto the stone, moves across to Sela. Sela, who is kind of lingering in the water at the shore, because of course our ghosts can only ever be on water. And Aldred starts trying to do something, but Aldred has a physical medical kit that does not apply to ghosts. You cannot sew together ghosts' injuries with surgical thread. You cannot even heal them with a bottle of medicine labeled as poison. Tarai notices too. Tarai climbs down from where they had so nimbly managed to kind of use the ship's rigging to like save themselves, and tries to help in the way that they had helped Aldred in the floating gardens, the way that both of you saved so many lives. And again, this is just so outside your realm of experience. It's not a thing that you can do. And then what happens is a little bit of magic. Like the next time that Aldred like tries to do something here, like let's say you've got a needle with thread, the thread falls briefly into the water, and when it falls into the water, magic glitters up the thread like quicksilver, like mercury, and the thread changes. It becomes more transparent, it becomes infused with magic somehow, and in the reflection of Jove's ghost in the water standing nearby on the wreckage, Jove is standing above, but his reflection is not himself, it is the reflection of a tall figure in a long cloak who is androgynous, wearing the mask of the hanged man. And that mask just spins 180 degrees, and the river feeds magic into Aldred's thread. And Aldred, you are able, by just touching the thread to the substance of what Zila once was, to slowly fill her in, and the pieces of her start joining together. And Zila, what you were feeling, which was really a lot like brain fog, to be honest, this kind of fading of your consciousness and clarity suddenly like returns. It's like a cloud kind of passes from your mind. You still know what you knew before. You got to go down that tunnel. You don't have a lot of time. Tarai and Aldred are going to die, and if Tarai and Aldred are going to die, then you are all stuck forever down here. But you are more yourself. You go back up to full health.
And then Joe floats over.
Major surgery
in
doesn't
fact, he
actually-
flies over, which is pretty cool.
Hey.
See what you did.
Yeah.
Quick thing, actually, major surgery doesn't heal full health. It is half health, but unless you meant to give them full health, in which case, yeah, sure, you're the DM.
I did mean to, because we're in our last session, and also I'm trying to avoid sudden character death. But thank you for the clarity. For people at home, don't do what I do, unless you want to, in which case do. Anyway, I want to know what happens with Jove. Jove died, and I want Katie to have their moment. Bring Jove back, please.
Yeah, so Jove just sort of like flies over and hovers on the like edge of the water where the not dead people are standing, I imagine, and just says, "Now I don't want to alarm you all, but it seems that I'm dead." There's some upsides and some downsides. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Downside.
We will be too soon if we don't get moving, but I am sorry, Jove. You're dead.
Yes. Oh no, it's fine. Honestly, I see. Look, and he just sort of like hovers up a little bit and hovers down. He's like, I'm absolutely fine. Don't you worry about me. I'm not. I'm an old man. I'm not the young spring chicken that I once was. So it's a blessing to be out of pain for a little while. Anyways, this looks like a whole conundrum over here, hey? Our ship's is not very put together at the moment.
Nope.
This must not. This can't be good.
No, I don't think that it is. How are my fellow afterlifers doing over here? How are you feeling?
Just like really sadly trying to pick up a bunch of pieces of wood. She's just, this is her baby, man.
I know it. And when I said fellow afterlifers, I really meant you, Faye. I know how connected you were to this ship. Do we have any ideas on how we could rectify the situation? Because we do need to do so post haste, if I understand our situation.
If we fulfill our oath, right? If we do what we are supposed to do, then
it won't matter.
Is the same. Do we have to have the ship intact?
I don't know, DM. Do we?
Yeah.
That sounds like you need to do a roll.
Okay. Here's the thing. I think it's been we've learned a lot on this here river, and I think it might be time for me to just take a hot second. Joe wouldn't say that. And just
a cold second.
Yeah, cold second. Now I have a couple. I've learned some things in the last few seconds, and lots of things happen when you die. And so there's some things that I think we could try to get some answers on what to do here. out of character for a hot second. So it's the river I should talk to?
So speaking to the river is kind of negotiating with a god for a one-time thing. What it translates to mechanically is you have to convince the river to give you a blessing or curse of your choice.
Yeah, so I took the listen to the river feat.
Nice, cool.
So
love that.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, maybe we get in the water, we kumbaya, we talk to the river gods, and hopefully they tell us what the hell to do.
I like that a lot. Yeah. So speak to the river and listen to the river are slightly different in terms of speak to the river is a ghost ability and speak to the river is a heroic feat and listen to the river is a ghost ability. So give me a moment. Here we go. So yes, I love that choice. So listen to the river. Whilst you cannot evoke a god whenever you wish to speak to them, you realize in death that there are whispers in the waves. When communing with the river, make a spirits roll. On difficult success, you can choose to return your blessing or curse and draw another, but you must take the second result. Very difficult success, you draw 4 cards and take the blessing or curse of your choice. This effect only lasts once. A new test must be made for your next communion. That's a bit less relevant here, but what I will say is that flavorfully, if Faye and Jove want to work together, you can try and ask the river to give you some kind of sign or indication or something to answer the questions that you are seeking.
Cool. Yeah.
I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely. Usually, I'm so sorry. Usually, when I have my time in the river, it's usually in the nude. But I think perhaps we could just. I think I'm as nude as I'm ever gonna be. I'm basically see through. So let's just get in the water together and.
Jove, you've said a lot of things. Now that I'm a ghost, I feel like I should say this freely. You've said a lot of things over the years that have really just hits very deep. But that one I hate the most, Jove. Let's get in the river. Come on.
There's nothing like a river flowing over your flesh. That's all I gotta say.
You're not flesh. I just have scales. Let's go.
Okay.
Cool. What questions do you want to ask? What do you want?
Oh God, what questions do we want to ask? So I mean, we want to know if there's a way to quickly fix our ship. We want to know if there is, I don't know, Faye, help me out here.
We could ask, technically we could ask if we'd be fine just taking a few fragments and going. If that would still count.
That's a good one. What if we made like a mini boat for each of us, and just
I don't think we have time for mini boats. Just
okay,
I just
all
love
right.
I love the idea that Tarai and Aldred are just sort of on the coast, just being like, what do you think they're talking about?
They're talking ghost language, just like, ooh.
Okay.
We need also
Seela in this as well. Sorry, like if Tarai and Aldred are on the shore and Faye and Jove are underwater, Seela, where are you?
Yes. I don't know. I think still kind of like in the shallows, I guess, of the water. Like she was trying to collect pieces of the boat also, but then got distracted by seeing the light.
Okay. So Seela is kind of distracted by seeing the light, picking up pieces of the water. Casey, I want to say you get 4 questions. So can you fix your boat quickly? Can you just take a piece of your boat with you? 2 more questions. What do you want to ask?
Directions?
Okay.
Toward the source.
I mean, we have one way out, so we could easily ask, "Hey, is this the direction we're supposed to go?" Because we, I try to put my trust in this.
Yes. So, is this the way we're supposed to go? Do we need to fix the ship? Can we fix it quickly? Can we just take fragments and go?
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Focus, Joke. That's our 4.
You sink below the water. Your spirits give this faint, eerie illumination. For Aldred, Seela, and Tarai above you, it's almost like moonlight coming up out of the water of the cavern lake, where Jove and Faye are sinking below the waves. Jove and Faye, you don't feel cold or damp in the way that you normally would when swimming, but you do feel a strange, almost electricity of the magic of this place. The magic of the river is always powerful, especially when you're submersed in it, but this deep underground, this close to the source, that magic is wild and frightening in a way that you've never felt. This is like being in the middle of a hurricane. You can feel this force just wrapping around you. And as you sink, you think your questions. And as you think your questions, you feel the river pushing and pulling at you like a riptide. And thoughts flit through your minds like fish in a river. You cannot fix your boat quickly. There is no way. You can take pieces of her with you. If each of you has a piece of her with you, you can fulfill your oath. The way to go is the way that Sela told you, the glowing tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do not arrive there quickly, something very, very terrible will happen. And Faye, in particular, you feel a sudden, deep grief that you have not felt since your mother left when you were a child.
Dang. All right.
Those are the answers to your questions.
Magical. All right, we
We
float
have-
back up to the surface. Yeah.
We have to go. We have to go now. Everybody grab a piece.
Okay, hold on. I know we're short on time, but I think I can offer one more thing to help us on our journey. Faye and Sela, would you join me in the water just for a second?
Sure.
Just
Okay.
a quick moment.
Okay, you're having a lot of quick moments, but yeah, sure. We're here.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I look. I just woke up.
You know what? That is true. It is very jarring to be a ghost. I am sorry. I am very sorry.
That's fine. I'm gonna take their hands because I guess ghosts can touch each other.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Like, it's not the same. You don't have warmth
Yeah.
from it, but you can feel a kind of faint contact.
Okay, I'm gonna bring them into the water with me, and we're gonna sort of sit on the river floor, and I'm gonna close my eyes and feel the river sort of moving around me, moving around them, and I'm gonna use my 2 blessings of reverse death on Faye and Sela.
2?
I have 2.
Yeah. Got one from the blessing of the hanged man,
Yeah.
just now, of course, and one
Yeah.
is a heroic feat.
Yep.
Stream again. No.
If that's okay with you guys, I don't want to take your ghost abilities away from you, but I figured, yeah, Sela was upset about it. Faye wants to finish this. We won't have character deaths. This felt right to Jove, so he's gonna just give his 2 reverse deaths to them.
Okay,
Oh my gosh.
so here's what happens. Yeah, Joe.
It looks like the Little Mermaid when she comes up onto shore.
Oh my god.
I was gonna
Only
say,
for
like,
Faye specifically, though.
only for a ghost can you be that deep in a river this deep, like in a lake this deep. It's freezing cold. It's very deep. And Jove, out of the corner of your eye, you can see a familiar-looking figure, a body on the floor of this stone cavern lake.
Oh, hey.
But you hold onto them, and then you feel Jove. You feel all the different figures of the river who have blessed you on your journey. You feel the world and every smell and every taste and the best meals that you've ever eaten and every person you've ever heard and the music of every culture you've ever met and the weather and the sunsets and the sunrises and the movement of the wind as the world touches your shoulder. And you feel the star touch your shoulder. And as you feel the star touch your shoulder, you feel every hope and every dream and every moment that every person ever remembered who your parents really were. Every moment that every person believed in you and gave you a chance. Every moment that this crew stood up for you and told people to back up off and loved you and knew you for who you actually were. You know every meal and every warm shared moment you feel as the star touches your shoulder. And then finally you feel the hanged one coming behind you to complete the trio and touching your back. And as it does, you feel relief. You feel an ability to let go of the things that were pulling you down. And when it started to work, you feel the faded kind of feelings of Seela and Faye in your hands becoming heavier as they start to drift upwards, and as they do, their bodies kind of color in and fill out like watercolors, like ink flushed in dark water, until they come to the surface, and Seela and Faye, oh boy, you're very cold, but you are also very alive. Your
Sorry.
so loudly, the blood is rushing in your ears. You forgot how noisy you were when you were alive. It's very loud. Your fingers are tingling, your toes are tingling, your clothes are so wet and they're pulling you down. And a moment later, Jove, all of those figures let you go and stay standing on the bottom of the lake as you two rise to the surface.
And I fly up above the water like this a little bit. Behold.
Yeah, I just look back at them and like, nothing to say. Are they like full HP? There's nothing to be done here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Tarai's just going to run into the water and hug Faye. Just
Like
run in.
slow motion.
Don't care how deep it is. Just grabs them.
You would need to jump in. This is deep, deep water, and I love the fact that
do
you
not care.
I'll catch you because she started crying.
Oh, this is like Dirty Dancing.
Literally just like, yeah!
Okay. And in this beautiful moment, Aldred, with your super hearing, from that glowing tunnel, you hear several things. You hear one set of running footsteps. You hear further off a group of running footsteps pursuing that one. You hear a beating on some kind of hollow wall, like beating on the skin of a drum. And you hear a woman shouting, a voice that, though you've only heard it maybe once, and from a distance, with your super magical hearing, you're able to recognize as the voice of the woman who killed Faye. And she is saying, let me in, I need you to let me in, they're coming, and you need to hide, we need to hide, now! And then you hear another voice, and this other voice sounds a lot like Faye's voice, actually. And I say,
What?
I'm so sorry, I can't, like, the magic, it won't let us out, but it won't let you in either, I can't help you, I'm so sorry. And then you hear more shouting, you hear the voice of Nathaniel Chanticleer, a Kiwi spy in my crew this whole time? You thought to trick me, you thought to use me, you thought to kill me and leave me here, lost in these tunnels? Well, little rat, I will find you and I will destroy you, and you will rue the day you thought to cross me. And you hear that woman again, the one who killed Faye. No, please, seriously, we're running out of time. He's gonna come here. I'm so sorry. I need to hide. And you hear the woman who sounds like Faye saying, I can't do anything. Maybe if you go around, there's a cavern with a lake nearby. Please, just, you need to hide. Aldred, you hear all of this, coming from that
People! They put Tarai down. We need to go now.
Right, we're done. How about this compromise? Tarai on one shoulder and then a thing of the ship on the other.
Make sure you pick up a piece of the boat before we go. All right, let's go.
Everybody got a piece of it.
Run! Running towards the noise.
Cool.
Did anybody else take the stealth ability?
I might
I
have
have
actually.
stealth.
Yeah, because I can't.
Oh,
I
you
do
have
actually
stealth.
have stealth now, yeah.
I have stealth too.
We all do!
We all have stealth? Let's go, crew!
Oh, I also have shapeshift and I can be invisible.
Me too!
So let's fucking go.
Also me too!
Yeah.
We'll talk about this later.
Okay, y'all are really great. So cool. Okay, so what I want you to do is actually all roll me a d8 plus your swords, please.
Oh, a D8.
Well, does it have to be swords?
That is an 8.
Sorry, my love, but it does.
So
That is an
D8
8,
plus
so it's an
swords?
18.
Oh, good lord. Okay, 18
Wait, no,
try.
that's the wrong dice.
Great. Everyone just remember your numbers for me for a moment.
This is an initiative roll.
but what did you say,
It's not
plus swords?
important, right?
Yes, I said plus swords. This is an initiative roll.
It's just not
18,
important.
18, let's go. 18, let's go.
I got an 8!
Hey! Cool, okay, so just give me a moment.
Why am
I
rolling
just
so
want to
badly?
interject just a tiny bit, just like when Tarai is like grabbing onto Faye. It's just like, I'm so glad I don't have to be captain anymore.
She's holding you like this, and she's like, "I know it's okay. You never have to be captain again. It's okay. I'm so sorry."
Okay, what did each of you get? Who got higher than 16? Woohoo! Okay. Amber?
I got an 18.
Cool. Okay. Zania?
I also got an 18.
Good lord.
Oh, yeah, we're
Which of
back,
you, what are
baby.
your swords, Tarai and Faye?
Plus 10.
I got a 10.
Okay.
Oh,
all
say
right.
that!
They attack at the same time, like a.
Oh, can you imagine how cool that is?
synchronized
Both of us sword in hand. Just...
Yeah, you like throw them up in the
Right,
air.
it is currently on Faye's shoulders.
The prophecy is fulfilled. Miguel and Tulio are real. Okay. Lily, what did you get?
A 17.
Nice. Okay, so Sela's on 17, and then Shahik
8.
8. Okay, and Katie.
I'm not last. I got a 10.
Okay. All right. So Jove 10 and Aldred 8. Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Alrighty. And you all have the stealth knack. Is that right? Okay, cool. So what I'm gonna say is that we're not gonna make you roll for that. We're just gonna say that because you all have the stealth knack, you were all able to like actually arrive reasonably stealthily. So you get to the mouth of this tunnel. It's normal kind of grey black stone. You go down the tunnel, but you can see kind of a glowing like pink violet light that gets brighter and brighter. It's a similar crystal to the crystal that you've seen the maps of the crystal nets made of. And you get there actually just in time, Faye, to see two people on either side of what looks like glass or crystal or light, some kind of barrier that is ringed with strange text. The text is written in an iridescent quicksilver writing, much like the maps that you've seen before. And that text is written in a lot of different languages. One of them is Kiwi, one of them is human, one of them is the Riverfolk language, and then there are two languages that you don't recognize. But you see on one side of this wall a woman with a crystalline form of the same height and build as your mother. In fact, you're pretty sure that that is the Kiwi form of your mother, Harper. On the other side is another woman who's currently looks like a human woman. She has long red hair. She is the woman who murdered you. But her forearms and hands, where she's touching the barrier, are fully crystalline, just like a Kiwi's would be. And as she is getting more and more distressed, that crystalline form, the Kiwi form, is taking over her body as she loses control of her shapeshifting and is less convincingly human. The redheaded woman is crying. She seems desperate to get inside. She's very frightened. You can hear shouting and human voices coming from another tunnel, kind of deeper within the stone. Your mother is like trying to console this redheaded woman, and is unable to do so. They're separated by this strange barrier, this wall of light with this strange writing written around it. And you're stealthy, so actually I don't think either of them notice you unless you choose to let them.
I choose to let them.
Well, hold on. I want to let them. Like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Ooh. Are there rocks on the floor?
Yeah,
Like,
they're kind of, yeah.
cool. Can I grab one and just like chuck it at the barrier real quick? Get both their attention?
Yeah. For sure. I won't even make you roll for that. Yeah, you throw it and the barrier just kind of ripples, but nothing happens. It doesn't seem to be damaged at all. The rock falls to the floor. Both of them startled, the redhead especially, and she sees you, and like she goes from just crying to honestly borderline panic attack. This is a very distressed and frightened woman. And she just backs up against the wall with her hands up, and she's like, I'm sorry, you don't understand.
Stop! Take a breath. I don't give a shit what your explanation is right now. I'm pissed at both of you right now. I am fucking pissed at both of you. But there seems to be a bigger issue here, so why don't we all fill each other in, huh? What is going on?
at this, like, you know, you've spoken and you've come out of hiding. Harper, like, just puts one hand on the barrier and it's like, Faye? Faye? A Faye? And she just, like, she, like, has, like, what does she have? Probably, like, a sort of club thing at her hip, like a kind of pole. Like, she just gets out, she starts just whacking at the barrier. Faye! I'm coming! There's humans there on their way! I think they're gonna try and kill you! You need to get out of there now! Urgh! And she tries to, like, just jam her weapon into the barrier. The barrier is kind of, like, fracturing with lightning and reacting, but it's not letting her out either. No! I won't do this again! I won't watch this happen! Faye! She's trying very hard to get out of there.
Are there any tiny cracks that in this barrier anywhere?
No,
entrances?
but Shahik, give me a spirits roll.
Can I also read the writing on the wall?
Yes, please read the writing on the wall. That is a d12 plus your tongues.
12.
12, okay. And Casey, what?
Oh, sorry, D12 plus your tongue.
Or-
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, Shahik, I think you're doing a different roll than me because you were looking for cracks, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry, I
you're
got
both doing two
confused.
different things, and I wanted
Okay.
to know, like, what
D12.
we're saying. So, yeah, Shahik, you're looking for cracks. Katie is looking for, to read the writing
18.
on the wall. Amazing, 18. Okay, cool. 12 and 18. No, 12, I mean, to be
Wait,
honest,
no, sorry. Am I doing tongues still?
you were doing spirits.
Oh, fucking 19. Fuck you.
Great, okay. So what I will say is a couple things. Shaik, this is a very, very powerful spell. This is the most powerful spell you've ever seen. This was possibly put here by a god. This magic cannot be broken, and there are no seams in the wall. Unless the river god chooses to let you through, you are not getting through this barrier. There is no physical way. You can try and blow up the stone, and you understand by looking at this magic, the magic would just extend. The magic would keep extending. It would wrap around the entire mountain if it needed to. You cannot get through this wall. Katie Jove, you realize that the sentences around, like, in this barrier, each one is written in a different language of the peoples of the river. There are 5 peoples of the river, and each one of these sentences is written in a different language. One in the human tongue, one in the river folk, one in the Kiwi, one in the halfling, and one in the elven tongue.
Okay.
And each of these sentences together makes one riddle. That riddle I am going to put in our shared chat, and I'm going to tell you now. That riddle...
Oh my god.
Oh, yes!
Love me
Let's
a
go!
riddle. Love me a
I read
riddle.
like 3 of these languages, let's go!
So the riddle says, tied together, we will not fall. 2 are short, 8 are tall. We let you speak without a tongue. Waves without water, shakes without thunder. Tools for healing, hurting, love. Tied together, we will not fall. 2 are short, 8 are tall. We let you speak without a tongue. Waves without water, shakes without thunder. Tools for healing, hurting, love. And
All right, we're solving this now, are we? Okay.
well, no, you know what I'm gonna say is that, like, having seen that in this moment, in the bullet time we're in, as these humans come down the corridor, as Angharad, the Kiwi woman that you've seen is frightened against the wall, as Faye's mother Harper is desperately trying to break this barrier, and as Aldred understands that there is absolutely no hope that she will do that, we are going to take our break a little early. We're going to be about 10 minutes, 10 to 15
Hands!
minutes.
Figures!
Figures? You might nearly have it, but yeah, we will see. It's not fingers, but it might be another thing you just said.
Hands!
His hands.
Don't look at the chat! Give us a new riddle!
Okay, so you know it's hands. What do you do with that information?
Wait, are we on stream right now?
I think we are still
Yeah,
on
we're
stream,
still
we're
on
not
stream.
break yet.
Oh my god! Hands!
Hey everyone, we're back. We are so chaotic right now. I
Oh.
hope that during the break you hydrated and took your meds. And also thanks for sitting through that ad break. We do it so that we can keep pre-roll ads off the air for the final hour of the game. If you're enjoying this chaos, subscribe to the Twitch and YouTube channel, and also consider entering the giveaway of this game. It's for a PDF worth £15, which is this whole book. It's a pretty big book. It's a whole system and setting. If you want to play this game yourself, enter the giveaway in the chat by clicking !Upriver. Yeah, Twitch. All right, where we left off was there was a magical barrier between Faye's mother, Harper, and between the person who killed Faye, who seems to be a Kiwi in disguise who was pretending to be human in order to get here. We kind of learned that from Aldrin's superhearing that the human crew of the treasure, captained by Nathaniel Chanticleer, were tricked by this Kiwi woman into coming down here, that she had abandoned them and kind of left them to die so that she could specifically get back here. They, finding out like who and what she was, are coming after her with the intention of violently killing her. And she was desperately trying to kind of get into wherever wherever Faye's mother Harper is. However, Faye's mother Harper seems completely unable to leave the barrier, and no one can go inside either. Faye had a confrontation with Angharad, this Kiwi human woman who knows, and also was seen by her mother Harper, who desperately tried to get out to warn her to save her from these humans who are about to attack. Jove looked at the writing on the wall around this barrier and established that each line was in a different language of the river, of the five peoples of the river. Aldred identified that this magical barrier cannot be destroyed. Like, it was created by a god, it can only be removed by a god. or else by doing whatever it is asking you to do. We heard a riddle that is written in the 5 languages of the people of the river here, which says, "Tied together we will not fall, 2 are short, 8 are tall. We let you speak without a tongue, waves without water, shakes without thunder, tools for healing, hurting, love." Who knows what that means? Hands! As we briefly went into the break, Shahik solved the riddle. And,
It was the speak without tongues bit that really moved my brain.
and we don't know what that means and what we need to do with it, but certainly the humans are approaching. The Kiwi woman who was trying to get into the barrier, who is part of the human crew, is having a breakdown. Faye's mother is desperately trying to get through the barrier to her daughter to help her or save her. What are we gonna do? And just before we jump into that, hi Zania's family, I hope you're enjoying the stream. Okay.
Oh my god! She doesn't usually cuss. It's just in character.
It's just us. We're a bad influence.
We're a bad
Terrible
influence.
Absolutely
In
our
our
fault.
fault,
Sorry.
we're making her do
Never
the
cut.
cussing.
I've never.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a funky little they them. I can cuss when I want to, I promise.
No, you're right. You are like
I think
a
I'm
very
gonna-
strong guy.
I think I'm gonna, like, once I sort of figure out that this is very much non-penetrable, and then Jove it tells us, "Hey guys, can we read this thing, please?" And then I'm just gonna like read it, and then like you can see like the thing cogs moving in my brain, and then I look at my hands, and I look at you guys, and then I like put my hands on the barrier. And essentially, you guys can kind of guess that I'm like, and then I look back on you, like your hands, and I'm essentially telling you guys to do the same thing. Will you please? Same as like
Can
with
we do
the
it so that,
woman, the Kiwi
like,
woman as well.
Everyone's hand.
All right, so we're all putting our hands on this thing.
Which
Yes,
is,
but I'm also
is
gonna-
the
so
Kiwi
that, like,
woman.
we're in a line, and everyone's hand is a little bit over the other hand, so that we're touching hands, but also touching the thing in a line, because that's cute.
You really want to hold hands
Yeah.
today, and you know what? I appreciate you for that because I love holding hands.
I'm dead.
I want to hold your hand so bad, Joe.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna also like reach out to the Kiwi woman, like tell her like, well, just without saying anything, with my eyes, sort of like asking her to do the same thing.
Okay.
Your
How
hands.
do the rest of the crew react?
I'm gonna look over at Faye and just watch their reaction first.
Yeah, I think Tarai's also kind of looking for Faye for cues here. I think Tarai's also got
Good.
one eye on the rest of the hallway,
Mhm.
with the noises.
All right.
Seal has occurred to Sela that perhaps we need one of every kind of people of the river. So I actually think she might be standing back a little because if we already have like a halfling touching, we definitely need, a river folk, a human, an elf, in addition to the halfling.
Okay.
And we do, right?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know. You haven't done it yet. And you
Yeah.
need
I think Joe.
And the Kiwi as the
Right.
woman, actually, obviously who's already trying to get through.
Can I?
Yes.
So, piggybacking off that, is the Kiwi woman still panicking? Like, is she? Like,
She's
freaking
yeah.
out?
She looks yeah.
Okay, then let me do this. So I think Faye. I think Faye sees the hand thing, gets the picture, but goes over to the Kiwi woman, and she's gonna hold out her hand and just be like,
Oh.
"We need to do this together. Come on, let's do this."
And this Kiwi woman like hesitates, looks at you, and when she looks at you, you notice that her eyes are kind of a grey, but they're not just grey, they almost like kind of glitter like mica, like there's this kind of crystal speckled like in her eyes. And you see that around her neck is a pendant. It has a face of the river on it. Lots of people wear these, especially in the north of the river, especially in the sinking shrines where the river folk are. You follow the path of the sun. This woman follows the path of the moon. And she hesitates, and then she reaches out and she takes your hand. And when you do, you have this feeling of like a circuit completing. And Faye, the scales on your arm, the scales that are a little more crystalline than the rest, glitter with light. And her arm goes from kind of the pink of this human arm, and it fades into crystal as the crystal kind of runs up her whole body, and she shifts fully into her true Kiwi form. And she holds your hand tightly, and she says, "You don't want to kill me?"
I do kind of want to punch you, but in this moment, I forgive you.
And with that, the curse of strength is lifted. As you surrender when you could choose to attack. And you feel the river, you feel strength flushing back into your body as you lift her up. And when you actually, to be honest, it's so much strength that you lift her up, you lift her off her feet. She's like, oh,
That's my girl.
You'll get used to that. You'll get used to it. Let's get through.
Can I just say, Jove is not going to let Sela not bait. If he sees Sela stepping back, he's just going to go forwards and like do the same thing, like grab her hand as much as he can as a ghost, and be like, you're one of us. Let's go.
Go SWAT. Go SWAT.
It's all of us or nothing, baby. Let's go.
Part of the ship. Part of the crew. Part of the ship.
Part of the ship.
mean-
Part of the crew.
One of us.
I mean, Joe
One
just
of us.
basically resurrected Sela, so like, yeah, you know,
You're like, I could do this for you,
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, you,
Like,
you
yes,
put your
of
hand over
course.
there.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's go.
touches the barrier. Faye tells you. And there's a moment where, when Jove is touching it, his hand isn't quite enough because he's not alive. Like, there's this kind of fizzle of, like, you can feel the magic building, you can feel it like a tide, like, pulling inside you. And there's just this moment of suspension,
really
like,
hard.
halfway through the air. Halfway through the air, this wave kind of stuck on falling. And then Sela puts her hand over Jove's. And where their two hands mix together, the life and death, halfling and human, your fingers, Sela, passing through Jove's as they touch the barrier. That is when the circuit is completed. And all of you together feel the moment that this magic dissolves back into the mountain, back into the water. And Faye, your mother, comes tumbling into your arms halfway through trying to beat down this barrier and just tackles you as she falls through the light. You have taken down this barrier. You can see a tunnel beyond it made of crystal falling into darkness. You don't know where.
Taking it down?
It goes down. Oh yeah, it goes down. Oh yeah, Shaik, it goes down.
I just wanted a temporary entrance! No!
We gotta deal with this.
Gotta keep going.
Behind you, you can hear the humans coming closer. Nathaniel Chanticleer, the captain, kind of comes into the cave behind you and shouts, "Stop there!" He is 16 feet away from you. You have a choice. You can run forwards, down into the tunnel, or you can stay here and fight. What do you do?
So,
Go ahead, Captain.
sorry, I'm not used to that
There
anymore.
are captain
I keep getting chills, and I'm like, oh. Oh. So, as much as I love a good scrap, everybody inside right now. Go on, go.
I
Go.
got it.
I'm flying. I'm not
Captain.
the slowest anymore.
Faye! I can hold them back for like 2 seconds if I throw this, should I? It's a grenade. Potion.
I never thought I'd ever say this to you. Puts a heavy hand on your shoulder. Chuck that thing.
Keep running.
Now everybody run.
Okay, Shaik, remind me what we agreed the grenades would do.
5d4 a
Hey.
grenade.
You know what? You're a level 4. Let's call that 5d8.
Do I need to
Do
roll
it.
to attack
Blood
or like
tonight.
throw or what?
You will need to give me a d12 plus your swords to throw this grenade, and then we will resolve them.
That will be a 14. Is it good enough or should I reroll?
I think if you can re-roll, you should. What I will remind you is that grenades can do friendly fire, so if it's not far enough away, it will hit your friends.
Is this something that someone could help with? Like
Well,
could
can I
like help her
Oh,
like
yes.
with like guiding her arms?
Wait, no, hang on. I love this. Wait, Shaik, you don't have to spend your re-roll if Sela wants to help. Does Sela want to help?
Sela wants to help.
Okay, so
Hey,
Shaik,
Sela, what's your swords? Do you want to throw it instead?
what is your sword, Sela?
My swords is plus 10, and
Fucking have it.
Just
I
the
have, like, a
three of
couple-
us.
Can I make a pitch, please? Lily, can you tie this grenade to the arrow of your bow and shoot the grenade with your really cool bow, please?
Please,
Yeah,
please,
yeah,
please,
that
please.
would be awesome.
Okay.
Fuse power.
I think
Yeah, I'd say
Can I
unless
roll-
you do it like that, you can't do it because that's too easy.
Just allow the world,
Can I
baby.
still roll
Um,
some of the d8s at least, please? Though.
Of
That-
course you can.
I just want to know what is like the minimum like we're aiming
You are looking for a 16 in order to not
Okay.
hit your friends. It will
So-
still hit if you get lower than a 16, but to not hit your friends, 16.
So here's the thing. My swords is a plus 10.
You got this.
Using the Poppy Ragnar bow that I made is a plus 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
then
can I
I
help?
get a 1d4 to like I'll have to roll that to archery. Like I feel like I've kind of already almost made. I could just roll the
You-
1d4.
Like, you know
feel
what?
like
no
you're
matter
good.
14, no
roll,
matter
roll
what.
me the d12 to make sure you don't critically fail,
Okay.
and also for us to find out if you
Yeah.
critically succeed. But then,
Okay.
yeah,
Can I help
This
action?
feels super important.
we.
Help her shoot a bow.
I'm gonna say probably not in this moment. And then, what were you gonna say,
Understood.
Lily?
This feels super important. So like as she's raising her bow, she's gonna take a deep breath and break her curse.
Cool. Yeah. So, at a moment decided by the wheel of fortune, you critically fail when you would succeed. Except that you're gonna break that curse. Give me that roll, Lily. Tell me what you get.
Okay. So the
Oh,
die
yes.
says a 7.
Mhm,
So 17 plus
Uh-huh.
4
uh-huh.
is 21.
Cool.
plus a-
Vindication.
I mean, I'm just gonna do this 1d4.
This is a
No,
No, I
goddamn
really want to
homing
know. I
arrow.
want to know what it is. I want to know the final number.
Plus 3, so that's a
10
24.
plus 4 plus 3 plus 7.
10 plus 4 is 14, plus
24.
3 is 17, plus 7 is 24. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, amazing. Shaik, roll me 5d8s, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a 8 plus 2, 10, 12, 15, and then another 4, 19.
Okay,
Please.
cool. Alrighty. I tell you what. I'll tell you what. It won't instantly kill this whole group. That won't happen. But what it will do is slow them the fuck down. So just before I describe for you exactly what happens and what this looks like, Shaik, what are the effects of your grenade? Is it like a fiery grenade? Is it a poison grenade? Like what's the deal here?
Well, it does do damage, but I did. Wait, can I make it up right now? Or does it have to be predetermined?
You can make it up right now.
Right, okay. Well, I was sort of imagining it as like it releases a lot of like gases, so that sort of like make it harder to see. That.
Okay, cool. So here's what. Oh man, I tell you, fucking what. I know exactly what happens here. All right. Shaik, Aldred gets out this grenade, checks with Faye. Faye says, throw the grenade. You give it to Sela. Sela turns around, swings her bow off her back. It's a little bit Legolas style. It's very cool. She notches this bow with the Poppy Ragnar aiming device, lashes the grenade to the bow. You get ready, Sela. You take a deep breath, and you feel the hand of the Wheel of Fortune on your shoulder, and this is not a friendly hand. Its face with those concentric ship's wheels, which are all spinning in all different directions. You just feel the sense of coming doom. And you take a deep breath, and you say, not today. And you feel all of those wheels judder to a halt as the mask cracks, and the hand lets go of your shoulder, and the curse melts into the air. You take your deep breath, you fire your bow. It lands, the grenade explodes. This mirage-like mist of kind of like, it's almost like oily air kind of spreads through the tunnel. It smells almost sweet, like damask roses. And the humans just run into the cloud as they'd been pursuing you. And what you all see, just as you kind of dip down and go down this steep slope in this glowing tunnel, which is, by the way, full of water, about ankle deep, but it's okay. You see the mist coalesce into a group of figures, a group of ghostly figures who have been down here for decades, who have never left. They are river folk, and they are halflings, and they are elves, and most of all, they are Kiwi. And the Kiwi ghosts emerge from the stone and descend on the humans. And the humans scream, and you just keep running. Alrighty.
People, that's my people.
Yes, it is. You run down this like flooded tunnel. It's just as well it's flooded, because if it wasn't flooded, Jove wouldn't be able to be here because he's a ghost and he can't be anywhere on land anymore. But you're currently still in water. You run/fly. Down through this tunnel, and as you do, this dancing, shifting light. It's almost like head achingly bright down here. These like beautiful like ice like transparent crystal, and behind it this like strange kind of lichen that like is glowing kind of pink and purple and iridescent, kind of glittering and sending these rainbows and moonbows of light. And Faye next to you, Angharad, the Kiwi woman who tried so hard to get here, who got herself enlisted in the human navy, who lived with the humans for years or decades, trying to find her way to somewhere where she would be safe. Her hand is in yours, and she is holding your hand very tightly as you run forwards. On the other side of you, your mother is holding your hand very tightly. Either side of you are these two Kiwi women glittering in this light, and you between them, the scales on your arms, the scales on your neck, on your face, are glittering with the light of home, of your people, of your culture too. You skid down this tunnel and you keep running. I'm gonna ask you all to give me one more swords roll. This is D12 plus your swords.
Now, if I'm flying,
8.
do I get like a is this like a dex save or something? Do I have to like just float right over it?
What I will say is you can float right over it for sure.
Fabulous. That's why I took it. I was like, I'm gonna fly so I don't keep fucking up my swords rolls.
Zania, they have a question. Yes.
Yeah.
Not a question, but guess who got, because that is a 10 plus a 12, so 22 ain't bad.
Good fucking lord. Okay, cool, amazing.
You
great.
surf on your shield.
Oh god, all my years of Breath of the Wild, yeah.
Turai, what did you get?
I got a 12.
Hey.
No. As in 12 total.
Okay. All right. Okay. Sela?
I got a 19.
Okay, you're fine. And Aldred?
Like, I already forgot, but like an 8 or something.
Ooh, okay. All right,
Is
interesting.
this really important? Is this how important? Is this like tripping? Should I reroll?
This
Am I
is
allowed
like,
to ask?
will the humans catch you and be able to start hurting you, or will you outrun them?
I would like to re-roll that, please. May I?
Yes, you may.
You go tonight.
Okay. 16.
Yeah, there we go. Tarai,
Christ.
you fall. You fall. You feel this one moment.
Hold on. Wait. No, this doesn't work, does it? Can I damage him it?
No, not unless you're in a ship battle. I'm so sorry, love.
I can explain to people who have no fucking clue what this is. I've mentioned it twice. Damage Jim is an ability. I can spot a crisis to happen, but it's really mostly about helping somebody not die. Anyway.
You can use it in ship battles specifically, but we have not done ship battles in this campaign because I leaned too hard into the roleplay. It's fine. If
The roleplay's good.
Had too much fun.
Hey, if you play the game, have ship battles. Do that at home. You'll have fun, I hope.
Can you imagine this
So
crew,
try
this particular crew doing a ship battle?
Oh, I think we kick ass.
I'd be ready.
It wouldn't be deliberate. We would kick ass. It wouldn't be deliberate though.
Tarai,
Yes.
you fall. You trip and fall, and that isn't great to begin with. Molly was dead to begin with, but you skid a bit, and the others just keep running, and they are running so fast. They quite quickly go past a point where you can see them even.
We don't notice, right?
Since I'm flying and I put it in the chat canonically that I'm like worth being like, let's go losers. Can I have noticed Tarai fall?
Give me a spirits roll.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I am
It's a D,
not
right?
losing Tarai after coming back. Like, no, I will riot.
The fucking
Is
irony.
this
7
is
plus 9.
the thing where we could all
Mark.
like roll to see if we notice?
You can no, I'm gonna say that like for those of you who are moving fast enough to get away, it's kind of you're either moving fast enough to get away or you can look down, and the reason that Joe was able to look down is because he's not so like full sprint. You know, like if you think you're
I'm up.
sprinting for your life
Yeah.
and you're not turning around.
Yeah. So that 7 plus 9. That is
19.
16.
Oh, but wait, does my
Super
enhanced sight?
And you know what?
16.
Super
It's
hearing. Hey, all right, okay. So, Jove, you do notice Tarai fall, and you are able to stop in time. Sela and Aldred, I'm so sorry. Yes, you both have the blessing of the Empress. Both of you also notice Tarai falling a few moments after Jove does. Tarai, you have slowed down enough that Nathaniel is going to take a strike at you. Does 20 hit your defense, your physical defense?
My physical defense is 18.
Yeah, so it does. Are you wearing light or heavy armor?
Light armor.
Okay, so that's -1 damage. Okay, so bloop 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 bloop.
Sorry, finish your thing and then I'll say a thing.
Thank you. Alrighty, that is. What's your health?
18. Oh no! Oh,
Don't you dare! No, don't you dare! I just
Can I-
do not back. Don't you
Can I wait? Can I say why I wanted to notice him?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to swoop down and touch him to make him invisible.
Oh, so you get down and you make them invisible. Oh boy, howdy. So
Hoping that would like that was like I was like I'm gonna wait, and in case they don't make it, we'll like maybe
That was
not
actually
be seen.
fucking
Hang on.
Katie. That was actually what I was thinking. If I had noticed them as well, so fucking good.
Perfect.
Okay,
Perfect.
so Nathaniel's strike would have done 24 damage. -1 for Tarai's armor would have killed them instantly. He would have killed them with his sword. He would have stabbed them. However, I'm gonna say you noticed, Katie. Jove noticed. And Sela and Aldred also noticed. However, the mechanics of this is that Tarai just did slow down, like that you did slow down enough for the humans to catch you. So what I'm gonna say is, how do you all feel about a coin flip? One side, Tarai was made invisible in time, and one side, Tarai wasn't made invisible in time. If Tarai was made invisible in time, Tarai isn't hit, they survive. But if they weren't, then they are hit before Jove is able to make them invisible.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, what is our fucking alternative? That Tarai dies?
Turai loves to gamble.
Right.
yeah,
It-
yeah.
I-
like,
it is-
go,
it is
narratively, I'm
important.
absolutely up for this.
Okay.
Can I ask Ella if I was going to use a knack against the humans,
Mhm.
like sort of simultaneously as to Katie trying to make Tarai invisible, would that come into play? Because I was
Possibly. What were you
going
thinking?
to use either Inspire Fear or Bewilder.
Okay. What we will say is that will give us 2 flips.
Okay.
If the first one
Um,
doesn't work, we
wait.
can do a second.
Okay.
Can I say one more
Okay.
thing? Because I'm not making this up right now, but I was thinking that I would throw another one of my poisons. Well, not entirely poison, it's a grenade. But did I actually, like, really initiative-wise, would this have been any time
I think like
before?
I'm gonna say we just get these 2
Because we're
goes.
sprinting.
I think
Yeah.
it's too quick. There's too much going on. You're running for your lives. I don't think
Yeah.
there's enough time for that to
Hey,
work.
We decided not to
50%,
fight,
that means
so fighting
100%
stuff,
counts, right?
Okay, so
Let's go. Let's do
Amber,
it.
Yes.
you've got a wheel.
Of course.
You've got a ship.
Oh,
What side are you gonna pick?
Wheel.
of course.
Is it a good side?
Let's go wheel. Let's go wheel. Come on.
Please.
Wheel.
Please, wheel. Come on, wheel. It's got a. What's your face? It's a ship.
Wheel?
Is the ship?
Okay,
Okay, but we have another one because we
Come
pushed
on,
Nathaniel.
come on.
Wheel again.
Wheel again.
Statistics are
Come
on our
on, wheel,
side, please.
Wheel.
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 Oh.
Okay.
Oh my god.
All right. So here's what happens, Jove. You start to try to make them invisible. However, like the humans are kind of there, and basically it's just this kind of like so much of the river, it's washing through Tarai. Like their upper half is kind of becoming glass-like and invisible, but not all of them is. And that's kind of when the humans arrive. And there's this moment where you realize you're out of time, and Nathaniel Chanticleer lifts his sword with a face like thunder and swings. And you just know with the knowledge of the dead that you are about to see another death. And then Seela appears at your side. Seela, what does it look like when you do what you're about to do?
I think I'm actually going to use Bewilder. I have both Inspire Fear and Bewilder, but I think I like Bewilder for the actual
fun. I like
visual that happens. I think she puts her hand on like on top of sort of through, I guess, Jove's so that Jove, Seela, and Tarai are all in contact with each other.
Oh, wow.
And then she puts a hand outward toward Nathaniel, and at the top of his swing, it's like he's forgotten what he wanted to do, and he like looks at his sword and he starts to lower it, and he's like really confused, and it is just the amount of time that Seela is able to stop him from bringing the sword down.
Oh, may I?
And then Jove goes boo.
While they're bewildered, could I?
I love that
please
when you say
throw
boo,
another-
Nathaniel stumbles backwards for sure,
Yeah.
like a child. It's like, whoa. Shaik, yeah.
Could I please throw another grenade, please?
I mean, they are right next to us,
Okay.
though, right?
Yeah, so you have
right
an area
next
of
to them.
effects.
You can. If
Yes.
your grenade
Yep.
hits Nathaniel, it will hit all of your
Dude was
friends.
gonna kill me with a sword.
He was
Like,
Yeah.
within 2-3 feet.
Let's let Turai and everybody come back, please.
yeah,
Please.
put the that
Okay.
thing away, please.
You're
Yeah.
all able to get back up again. I want
Yep.
you all, except for Jove, to give me another swords roll, please.
Right, you know what? I'm gonna use my duck dice. Right, here we go.
Ooh, 17.
Hey.
While they're turning to run, Jove is gonna stay where he is, and he's gonna like look back at them and say go, and he's gonna stay where he is to try to do something while they run back.
Okay, amazing.
I'm gonna use my 6 and make that a 16.
Cool, amazing,
That
good.
was really good roll.
16.
Okay, good.
17.
Amazing. All right, so we all succeeded. So everyone else is able to keep running down the tunnel. Casey, what is Jove doing?
Jove is just gonna stand there with his like hands up in a sort of like non-attackery position, and just say, "Now hold on a minute. I think before we start drawing swords at each other, we have a moment to assess the situation."
I mean, like, the humans are going to kind of slowly but surely, the bewilder effect that Sela cast on them is going to fade, and Nathaniel's going to frown at you, Jove, and go, Aeneas? What are you doing here? What, the old kook disappointed the family name? You think you'll win back the Empire's favor by finding the source before me? Do you think you'll live up to your parents' reputation? Get out of the way, old man. And he tries to, like, kind of throw a hand through you, and his hand passes through your ghostly body. What the what is this?
Deceit.
Young man. I've learned a lot in my travels, and I've learned a lot since being with this crew and coming to this area. I've no intention to beat you, to do anything to you. But I do think that you might want to reconsider what you're doing. And I'm going to try to use charm.
You're going to try and use charm. Okay.
I think so. I was like, I wanted to take a very non-combative, like, because I could try to use bewilder again, but like, charm seems right. I don't know.
Okay, so charm is like essentially like a persuade skill. It's not magical. It's not going to condition him or brainwash him. So you
I'm basically just trying to like I'm just trying to like keep him there and like try to talk to him for a second so that they have a chance to yeet themselves back there. So
give me a roll plus your tongues.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna roll a different dice this time, just for kicks. That's a 20.
Woo! Okay, he kind of stops a bit. He looks intrigued, and then he goes, "What do you know that I don't know? Is there a quicker way to the source? You tell me your loyalty to the Empire now."
Right
they're
now,
a diversion. I knew it. Of course they're a diversion. They've baited us into this. They're tricking us.
Can I just ask you a quick question? Why are you here?
To claim the source.
What is it?
Crown Laume.
And what do you think the source is?
I don't know, but some magical artifact, a wellspring with some crystals around it. Doesn't really matter. We put a flag in it. We say it belongs to the crown. It will become our territory.
What I've learned. This is what I've learned from being with this ragtag crew of river folk. I don't think the source is something you can grab with your hands. I don't think it's something that you can plant a flag into, and I don't think it's something you could bring back to use for anything. I think that you're headed towards some destruction, some possible magical things that I don't think that you're prepared to deal with. And you're welcome to continue on and see the source for yourself, but I can tell you right now, a young strapping man like you, his future ahead of him, his whole life in service. I don't know if you want to give that up for something that may not exist, and if it does, you couldn't use.
That is beautiful. I'm
hoping to use my levels.
No, I'm about to use something else that Nathaniel says, but before I do, Jove, I want you to roll me with tongues at advantage, and this is a culture roll.
Okay.
I was so half expecting you to say maybe the real source is the friends we made along the way. I genuinely thought
I was waiting for it too. Hey, I didn't say it yet, but we're not done this conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Get back to us now.
That is a 19.
Cool. Jove, you knew an elven woman once. She was one who your parents smuggled out of the city when you were younger. Not that much younger. You were a young man by this point. It was kind of towards the end of that whole era of your parents' lives and your life. She was smuggled out of the city because she had a child. a child whose father was Crown Nereus, the violent crown who started the war. In response to having a half-elven child, Crown Nereus was persuaded not to kill the child, but instead to keep that child in a tower, where that a great secret of the crown has been that person was kept for the following decades. You also know, and you've heard on the river, that Crown Nereus is dead. And that in searching for an heir, they found this new crown, Laume, a strange person. They haven't said much about their political beliefs yet. No one really knows much about them. No one knows what they're about to do with the power that they have over the human empire. You know that they are half-elf. Nathaniel says, "You don't understand. We have a new crown. I am a young man, and this is the moment in which I secure my position as Admiral of that crown's navy. If I claim the source for Laume, my name will go down in history. They will shower me in riches. Our empire will have a reach that it has never had before. There is no greater or higher goal I could aspire to, and no better way to gain the favor of this crown."
I think you might be missing some information. I don't think that your current queen would be party to the destruction of the source of magic for her ancestors.
They're human. The crown is human, obviously human. No child of Nereus's would not be human. You're unhinged,
I
old
think
man.
that-
You know nothing about the politics of the city. You're an old hat. You're washed up, and it's so sad.
I
you're
was
still clinging to that.
I was born the son of the Aeneases. You think I don't know politics? I was born in it. I was raised in it. I know more than you ever could, young man. Little boy. My parents were a huge part of the reason why there still are any elves or Kiwi or magical folk on this river. And believe me when I tell you, your former king does not have such a pristine record as you might think. A lot of people try to kill the things they can't understand, the things they're ashamed of. That's what your king tried to do. I think if you look into it, you'll know that. Fuck, what's her name? Maya?
So their name, they use they them pronouns, and the crown
sorry,
is
they.
called Laume.
Mhm. Yeah, Laume. They've got elf blood in them. And if you look past the garbage that all of the crown will speak to you, if you think for more than 5 seconds, and if you read more than one book in life, no offense, I think that you'll find that this isn't the way. And the only thing they're gonna do is find this source, maybe try to claim it as your own, even though you don't understand it, don't think not a thing you can claim, and then report back. Well, maybe not report back. I don't think you can come back from the source and find it. I'm starting to believe, but maybe you come back and you get accolades, and then the queen's gonna find out just exactly what you did to get here. How many people you fired upon, how many elves you killed in that hanging forest. Gardens, same thing. They're trees. And I don't think she's gonna take kindly to that. So you can do what you want. You're a young man with his own decisions, but I just think carefully about doing what you're told and what you think versus what might actually be true.
They cannot. And he's looking less and less convinced as this goes on, and more convinced by you, less and less convinced by his own convictions. They cannot.
She was locked in a tower?
They cannot.
Why would you lock her in a tower?
Surely we would know. We would be able to tell. I would know.
Let me ask you a question. Have you been attacked without provocation on your way up here? Have you always been the one to draw swords first?
What does it matter if I was. It means I knew to defend myself, and those fools did not. They lack the discipline of the Empire.
If no one's attacking you, then you're not defending. You're not defending. If no one's pulling a sword against you, you're just pulling a sword against them, that's just ruthless killing. None of these people want to kill you, no matter what hardships you've done to them, unless you provoke them first. You really think that people are innocent? That? They're all handling this with grace and love and family and friendship and community, and I think that's really what the source is. You're coming in trying to claim something you don't understand for yourself, for your queen who you don't understand? Did she even ask you to do this?
They did not ask me to do this because I knew that I needed to prove myself. You're saying you know a lot, my friend.
The
court. Well, the crown went into the court and expelled all of the old advisors, and then they seemed to be making some plan for some great event in the Star Festival. They said that they had some
changes
grand announcement. Well, yes, they mentioned changes, but I assumed the changes were political in nature. That this was an opportunity for new blood.
They got rid of all the old god. They got rid of everyone who was part of the old king's rule. All the things they're trying to erase that now, and you're just going on. You're saying you know a lot, son. You're saying you know a lot. I think you think a lot. Probably more than you should. Or maybe less than you should. But you don't know anything.
And I think, like,
Can I just say?
Jon Snow.
I love how Jove has essentially become one of those YouTubers that rings scam callers and keeps them on the phone for as long as possible. That's amazing.
I think honestly though, when Jove says you don't know anything, that's where this scene ends, because Nathaniel, you see him realize that as you say it. You see him, like, over the course of this conversation, just thinking it through, and you are an Aeneas, and, like, whether you like it or not, the name Aeneas holds a lot of currency, especially with people like this. And, like, he really takes what you've said quite seriously, and he looks absolutely, like, shocked. Like, it just, like he's been smacked in the face with a spade. Like, he does not know what to do with himself. And you get the sense that
I was trying to say it all, like, as kindly as possible, and not, like, aggressively. I'm just like, here's the facts, son.
Yeah. And his crew kind of looks at him. This woman steps forward with kind of mid-like brown hair, and she says, "Captain, what do we do? You cannot possibly be listening to this abomination. That would be absurd." And Captain Nathaniel Chanticleer turns around, his sword hanging at his side in his hands. His other hand kind of flexes, curls. You can see Jove, that his palm is sweating. His temples are sweating. And he says, "Spaghetti. We found nothing. We came here and we found nothing. A lot of rock, a lot of water, unsurprising. The superstitions of the people of this place give it a gravity it does not deserve. We found nothing. We go home." And his first mate looks at him and says, "You cannot possibly mean that, not after everything we've been through." And Nathaniel just walks up to her and he looks at her, and he's a little bit taller, and he says, "We found nothing." And then he just pushes past her and walks back and away up the tunnel. And after a moment, this woman kind of looks at you, Jove, and she looks for a moment like she's gonna try and do something, you're not sure what. And then she too turns around, holsters her pistol. When you say that, she walks past her. There is a tension to her shoulders and a tightness to her jaw. And the other members of this ship walk back up the tunnel and away. And you are left backlit by these glowing tunnels like a sunset, alone as guardian of the dark. The rest of you, running down this.
It was all I could do to not go. You cannot wield it. No one can. I'm Aragon now.
You were going to say you shall not pass. Okay. The rest of you running down the tunnel, you're splashing.
He's not
through...
that type of character.
You're splashing through these tunnels. Your feet are kicking up water. All of you are alive now and physically making contact with the world. You keep going. You keep going. You keep going. Your breath is aching in your lungs. It's scraping through your throat. You can feel your cheeks flushing with warmth. You can feel your body sweating. You keep going. You keep running until the only thing you can hear is each other's heavy breathing in the dark and the splashing of your feet in the water and the echoing of water on stone. The glow around you shifts from kind of pink to like this kind of purple to this kind of silver until you're in this iridescent light. And then suddenly, and when the light is at its brightest, you burst out onto a pebble shore. Except it's not exactly pebbles. These pebbles are transparent and really clear, perfectly clear, almost like ice. In fact, whilst they are soft and rounded, this is a shore of pebbled diamonds. You are on the shore of a massive lake, and on the other side of the lake, enormous and beautiful as Barcelona, is a city made of diamond, built around a cathedral known as the Liquid Heart. You see people moving through the city, vaguely at first, but Sela, you can see every single person. You can see the buildings with writing, iridescent, violet and silver, running up and down these. You can get the sense that something important is written on them. You don't know what, but it's like a library of knowledge written into the architecture of this world. Aldred, you could bend down and pick up enough treasure to rebuild your village 3 times. And it wouldn't be the same, but it would be a start. There is this beautiful lake full of light, and you've certainly found something. As Jove rejoins you, Harper turns to you, Faye, and says, I couldn't come back. I wanted to come back, but after I came in, I couldn't leave again. The barrier wouldn't let us out. We've all been stuck down here, actually. We couldn't leave. I would have come home. I would have come home to you.
Is this all the kiwis?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He never died?
No.
Give me a second. It's not happening again, I swear.
Aldred starts walking around trying to like Aldred is not crying, I am crying. This is not Aldred is very appreciative that the kiwis are not dead, but Aldred is not, this is not the treasure she was here to find. She's not, she walks around and starts like, I guess like just using her sword as like a shovel, as like, but you know, I still have to find the treasure. You know, I'm here to find. It's not. This isn't it. It was supposed to be buried, and well, I don't know what it is, but it's somewhere here.
And as you do, Aldred, remind me what Aldred looks like.
I am about 4 foot something tall. I haven't got my notebook, so I don't remember the inches, but something like that. So quite tall for a halfling. Taller than Sela, even though Sela is also tall for a halfling.
I think you're like 4'6" because Sela was 4'5".
No, Sela was 4 foot even.
I'm wearing very just neutral looking clothes, like a black leather jacket, not like a cool one, just a sturdy one that like covers me up. I've got my hair tied in a ponytail, just very comfortable. Like I'm very.
What color is your hair? What color are your eyes?
Yes. My eyes are just brown, and my hair is sort of a Oh god, I honestly forgot, but I think it was something like brown.
Okay. What you see When we first met Aldred, she was spinning out her some horrible things that happened to her, and she just wanted to get away, and she wanted to do something ridiculous and absurd and kind of just throw her life away trying to find the source. She made a sign, a wooden sign she put on the shore of Harton and the valleys that said, you know, I'm looking for a ship to the source, and then on the back was like, come find me. You see a sign made of crystal planted in this beach, and on that sign says ferry boat rides, and then on the back it says come find me. And after you see that sign, you turn and look across the beach, and you see a halfling who looks a lot like you, like a cousin or a sibling might. And they walk along the shore up to their boat, which kind of ferries passage across their lake, and they see you, and they pause, and then they get closer to you, and they kind of reach out to touch you as if they don't think you're real. Who are you?
Do I say who it is, or is it just any random family member?
You can tell that this is someone you're related to, but you've never met this person before.
Sprigmore. I'm Aldred.
I'm Fennel Sprigmore. Are you from the surface?
I would know family trees, right?
Yeah.
Who is this?
I want you to give me a roll d12 plus your tongues.
Everybody gets family today.
13.
You put two things together.
Yep.
The war started when human miners went up to the Echoing Canyons and enslaved the Kiwi, and then the elves went up and attacked them and killed that human settlement. And you know that when the human miners went up to the Echoing Canyons, before the war had started, a member of your family went with them to help with building the mines. And whatever happened to them after the attack, you didn't know. You also know that your family says there is a treasure buried in the mountain that no one could ever find. And you realize that one member of your family was up in those canyons when that attack happened. And this person is whoever is left who survived. And your family passed down a story that used to be, we have someone up there and we need to get them back, and became, we have a treasure up there and we need to find it. And you did.
Ella!
I think I'm just like a sort of grandchild of yours, maybe.
I can see the family resemblance. And they reach out. Do you let them touch you?
I twitch a little, but I do.
They pause. They won't touch you if you flinch away.
No.
You kind of pull their hand back.
I pull my face like instinctively back, but I then calm down to it's fine.
So you feel the warmth of their hand on your cheek, and you see that they've started to cry. And they laugh and they just step forward.
I don't understand. Are you alive? Are you a ghost? What is this place?
I'm alive. We're all alive. The magic of the Kiwi shapes the world around them. We've been in this kind of stasis, I guess. When the war started, the human miners didn't... Nereus told them to attack and enslave the Kiwi, and they said no. And when Nereus found out that the miners wouldn't do it, he sent his troops to kill us all, the human and Kiwi both. So we came down here and we hid, and the mountain and the magic and the god of the river kept us here. Not everyone made it. A lot of people up there died, but the survivors, including yours truly, only halfling in the liquid heart, have been stuck here ever since.
Are you going to come back?
Well, there's this magical barrier. You can't pass it.
It's not. It's down.
What?
down. It's not there. We took it down.
And they kind of like stumble a bit when you say this.
You can come with me if you want.
Is it safe?
I don't know for whom. I don't know if. I don't know how the world will be for Kiwis right now, but as a halfling, I know it'll be safe enough.
Can I go with you?
Please?
Yes. Yes, of course. Yes. And they come forward and they hug you and they hold you so tightly. And for
I'm gonna hug back.
For the first time since you lost your village, Aldred Sprigmore, you feel warm.
It's nice.
And they hold you so tightly. And they just cry, and they laugh, and they cry, and they kiss your cheek, and they kiss your hair, and they hold the back of your head.
Oh yeah. I'm also just really happy the Kiwis are here and alive.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. We're coming to the end of our story, but there's a few more things left to do. One thing is that you are all taken across the lake by Aldred's relative, Fennel Sprigmore. And Fennel brings you to the city, where you are greeted by various Kiwi, including a woman whose ceremonial role was to greet travelers, but they kind of knew that would never happen, and she's quite surprised that she actually has to do her job. She's kind of like, oh, okay, cool.
She
okay,
pulls out the instruction dialogue sheets of like, oh god, these are so old.
She's super awkward. She keeps trying to like give you all like culturally appropriate greetings. She just doesn't really know what to do with herself. It's confusing for her. Several of the Kiwi Sela are deeply impressed by your bow, and you are invited to a Kiwi smithy. And a Kiwi smithy is a little bit different to everyone else, because the Kiwi, wherever they walk, reality shapes itself around them. This city made of diamond moves around them, which means that they don't make weapons out of wood or steel or bronze. All of their weapons are made of liquid diamond that hardens into a form they choose, and they offer to teach you how to make your bow in diamond, should you so choose.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh
Yeah,
my
no,
gosh.
I'm not gonna take a diamond bow. I'm good.
You study with the Kiwi Smiths, and you learn how to shape the diamond. I mean, Sela's always been a talented weaponsmith. The halflings value weaponsmithing culturally, but Sela's always just been good at it. She picks this up fast, and she shapes diamond itself with her hands, and she creates a new version of her bow with Poppy Ragmar's adjustments, and it is beautiful and glittering and perfect. And finally, the Kiwi offer for you all to visit the source. The source is inside a cathedral. That cathedral is a lot like the Sagrada Familia, but it's made of diamond. It's this huge, ornate, spired structure that goes up into a cavern that is impossibly tall. You go through chambers which are written over with this iridescent writing, which you learn from the Kiwi are all prophecies. Thousands and thousands and thousands of prophecies that the Kiwi have learned over time. And then you get led into a back room. In the very, very back of the cathedral that presses up against the wall, there is an earth floor, rock walls, no decoration, no gilding, no ceremony here. Just a bubble of pearlescent water coming up out of the ground. But when you step inside this room, you feel as if you are in a thunderstorm. You can feel all the magic in every heartbeat of every person who has ever lived on the river in this room. This is where the life and magic comes from. This is where it flows. Jove, if you choose to step in this room,
I think I hesitate.
Yeah. You will fulfill your oath. If you fulfill your oath, you will pass on. What do you do, Jove?
I think Jove hesitates not for that reason, but for like, he was always the one that was like not sure we'd make it, but it was like, you know, we could die trying, sure. And it was more to him that like he thought that's where he would find the kiwi, and he has. And that was what he was here for. But I think he also doesn't really want to like wander the world forever as a ghost. So I think more than anything, he wants to be invited in. And so like if they let us and stuff, I think he specifically would just wait outside for a second and just make sure the Kiwi are cool with him going in, because I don't know when the last time a human was here, and I don't know how like all of them feel about the Aeneas family. He would be like, nah, maybe they're like, I don't sort of humans.
There are
So
a
I think he would just
bunch of
hesitate.
humans here. There are a bunch of humans
Oh.
here. The humans of the first mining settlement, the town that allegedly was killed by the elves when the war started. It wasn't killed by the elves, it was killed by Nereus. The human miners refused to hurt the Kiwi, and when they refused, Nereus sent his own troops and said it was the elves. No one ever knew that because they came down here or they died, and Nereus controlled that narrative. But there are like quite a few humans. There aren't any elves. There is only one halfling. There are no river folk. But like the Kiwi feel very warmly towards the humans who they have lived with down here, who risked their lives and died and took exile rather than hurt them. And so for you, also, there absolutely are a couple of people who your parents helped, who made their way here eventually, who could get in but not out again. And
yeah, Jove would definitely take a sec. Like I think before like straight head into the source, like I think he would take a moment to like speak to some of the people, because that's his whole thing, right?
Jove, if you do like look at the source at any moment, I would like to walk up to you and just say, I appreciate what you do.
I'm not quite at the source yet, so if you want to do it like before we do the source thing, then we can do that. But I'm not.
You're not. I appreciate you basically saving us and everybody here with what you did back there, and I would like to give you a choice of what you would like, how you would like to live or not live. I am able to bring you back if so you choose.
I appreciate that. I will think on it. Yeah, I think it's just gonna take a second to like, just go through to people. I think he'd try to find the person who gave him this bracelet that he's been wearing, that like has some like really interesting looking crystals and stuff on it, and like see if he could find them, and like see if he can find anyone who remembers his parents, and just speak to some of the humans, and that gives him a bit of hope that like not all humans are trash. Like just have a hot second of like, okay, there is hope for the future, especially if like these people can now re-enter the world and aren't just stuck here.
You find the person who gave you that bracelet, they recognize you immediately. And they run up to you, like even in your age. And they just
not a little kid anymore.
And they go to hug you and then hesitate and see how you are now.
It's tricky to
you've changed. Longer hair.
No, the hair's always been.
It's definitely longer. You need a cut. Like,
I don't think you can cut hair when you're a ghost. I think you're stuck with this hairstyle for the rest of your life, which is unfortunate.
No, you're right. That sucks. Because I mean, really, you should have had a styling before it happened.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad to see that you're safe, and that so many of you are safe. Do you know what you'll do now that the bear is down?
Well, a lot of us want to go back up top, clear up what happened, clear up the story, write the narrative. There's a prophecy about.
I think you'll find the. Sorry, go on.
Well, there's a prophecy about a star coming to the city, something to do with the elves, some kind of hope. I don't, but people seem sure enough that it'll hold.
I think you'll find the Empire is much. It'll be much more welcoming, I think, this time. There's new people in charge. I think you'll. No, it won't. But that's okay. I've lived a long life full of a lot of things. Adventures, pain, sadness, loss, friendship, love, family, fear. I think I like to know that I'm leaving behind a better world for the youngins who can actually enjoy it. Plus, right now my leg doesn't hurt, and that's been the leg's been broken since childhood, and not only is it painful, but it reminds me of the cruelty of the Empire. So, I'm happy to let that go too.
You know, everyone and everything comes back to the river. And you are of the world. You are every part of the world. And you have always been every part of the world. The path you walk was pretty obvious even before you chose it. The world loves you and you love it, and you are there in every meal and every song and every town and every person and every prayer and every tree and every wave and every ripple. I don't feel like I'll lose you if you're not here anymore.
You can see just like he's holding back the sobs, but there's like tears coming down his face, and he's like, "Now, I mean, come on, now, no need to, that's you youngins."
I'm like 70 or so, but yeah, okay. Sure. You know what? You can say you're old, and I'll say I'm young. I like this. It's flattering. Honestly, it's great for my vanity.
Yeah. Right. Thank you so much. And I wish only the best for you and for all of your kind.
You have my blessing.
Thank you. Okay. Gonna go gather up the crew before walking in.
Okay.
And have a quick word before we walk into there.
So before we do, we're gonna take a quick moment. Faye, your mother has not let go of your hand. I don't think at this point you're not
She never
entirely
will.
sure. Yeah, like you're not entirely sure if you'd be able to remove it, like with a clamp. Like it's like this is your state of being now. Congratulations, forever.
Just a nice crystal hand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my drawing hand. No.
No, go ahead.
No, Faye, what would you like to say anything to your mother before we come to the end? We've got 10 minutes left of our campaign. That's weird. Isn't that a weird feeling?
I hate it so much. Don't talk about it.
Yeah, what do you want to say?
I really wish you took us with you.
Me too, but you were a baby. You were a baby, and you could have died. You could have been killed. At any point on that journey, you could have drowned or been shot or stabbed. Do you know? I could not do that to my baby. I'm sorry, I could not do that to you.
I would have rather died in your arms than...
Because you are my baby, and because I love you, and because you are perfect. And for that exact reason, I could not let you. You have a whole life to live, baby. You had a whole world to be in. And that world was not hiding with me in the dark. You deserve to be in the sun.
My path. Well, thank you for that. I'm a captain. I'm a kick-ass captain, and I just lost my boat.
Without a ship.
Or I just popped around being like, they're really good. Like, they're really good. They're really good.
They are the Captain Faye Half.
The Faye Half.
You have quite a crew, also.
That's my first mate.
The boat broke. That was technically my fault, so don't hold that against. Like, best captain, entirely best captain on the river.
And
Sorry, I'll leave it to Smart.
They're on the path of fortune, and as Harper says this, she touches the necklace around her neck, which has the face of the Wheel of Fortune. She smiles approvingly at Sarai.
Now they have to get married.
Is that like same zodiac sign?
We're compatible.
And
Oh my god, we're both Libras!
Harper reaches out to you, Faye, and she puts her hands on either side of your face, and she says, "I had to leave you behind, and it was a lot like dying, leaving my heart behind me in a place that I could not follow. But you grew up, and you became so strong and so full of light, and you found me. And I am so proud of you. And I love you so much."
I think she takes a minute, and she's definitely like feeling that warmth, but instead of saying "I love you" back in, we'll say like human, all that, she specifically says it in the way that Harper taught her, which is in Kiwi.
And when Faye does, the diamond kind of walkway beneath her, the kind of diamond pavement and the buildings just briefly glitter with a breath of magic. And Harper starts to cry, and she leans forward and she holds you, and she cries, and she holds you, and she cries, and she holds you.
We're gonna have to go back home to Mama tell her everything.
One moment. I'm so sorry.
But by the way, that's our cook. He's amazing.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
He makes a mean catfish.
You let me know when you're done.
He makes the best catfish.
Okay. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, now I've got competition because I used to have that title.
Howdy, ma'am. You won't
it-
have competition for long. Don't worry, ma'am.
Well, okay.
Oh God!
Like,
Yeah, just looking over like, hello.
her expression kind of
die.
her expression kind of falls a bit. She steps back and lets Faye go. And yeah, Jove. The cathedral is in front of you, all of you. When you step into that earthen room with that tiny little spring of water, your journey will come to an end. You will fulfill your oath. You will not drown in a few more hours when your ship is not resurrected. But Jove will be able to pass on to whatever place the dead go to. When the dead are held here by magic on the river, it is not natural. They are tormented. They slowly lose their minds. It is painful. It is not where they are supposed to be. When they move on, no one knows where they go. No one knows what happens to them. It's death. But it's an ending. And your journey is coming to an end. Katie, what does Jove do?
He's gonna gather the group into a circle, a trust circle, if you will.
Are we doing a huddle? We're doing a huddle?
and-
One final? Yeah, huddle? Yeah, okay. We're
Yeah, please.
Everyone-
if you
everyone in
don't,
huddle.
we can
Everyone
sit
not-
too if you're more comfortable. We don't need to. I can't. No, this is actually too close. We're not like kiss or punch
Oh,
distance. and
right,
it's
okay.
uncomfortable.
No,
I'll
no,
take
no,
one
no, no,
little
no,
step
no.
back.
We are huddling.
okay.
This
Okay,
is
captain's orders.
orders.
It's captain's
Captain's
orders.
orders.
Oh,
Got a
alright.
huddle. Got a huddle.
Well, I'll stand in the middle of the huddle since I can't really huddle.
Yeah. Circle.
My friends, this has been probably the greatest adventure of my life, and I've had many adventures. I appreciate each and every single one of you for all the things that you brought to this journey, to this crew, to this world. And I have every confidence that you will continue to do good and bring light and joy and love and strength into the world. I feel very confident, and I feel no sadness in letting you go on your way without having an old man with a walking stick tying you down. You will be amazing. Try. Did you find what you were looking for?
I think so. I think so. We're gonna have to win us another boat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure as like the saviors of the Kiwi and the magic users that bring down a wall and whatever, I'm pretty sure they can give you some sort of craft. I'm sure you've got this.
I kind of want to win it though.
One of the best.
It's a lot
things,
more
I
fun
mean,
when he wins it. It's a lot more
That's
fun when he
true.
wins it.
I'm not sure you gamble in like the love seat of the world, but it's fine.
We can try is the important thing.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
They just look at each other, fist bump.
I would love it if we would all complete this journey together.
I don't want to go pass on. I'm going to
You're
the
not. No.
sword.
Sorry, I meant like
No.
walk through the threshold together as one instead of
Right.
sort of like one at a
So,
time.
yeah,
I would
yes,
like to go as a
yes.
group and fulfill our oath together before I am ready for another adventure.
Are you certain? Are you for sure?
I'm sure. I've lived a long life, I've learned a lot, and I've set the world up to maybe be a little bit of a better place, and I've made 4 amazing friends who will make sure that legacy is continued.
I swear, I thought
And-
you were about to say I've made 4 great catfish meals. I'm not even trying to.
I've made more than 4.
Oh,
I'm 75 years old. It is far more than 4 catfish, let me tell you. Yes, this is the right thing for me. I feel at peace, and I feel ready to see what's on the other side.
So I think Sela is gonna step up next to Jove and say, "Thank you, sincerely, thank you for giving me back my life, and I will always remember you and the journeys we've had together."
I'm gonna take off the bracelet that I've been wearing, and I'm gonna put it around Sela's wrist.
And
If I
there's a
can. I don't know, I'm a
strange,
ghost. Is it a ghost bracelet?
there is a strange magic to it, which as you all step into this room, as we draw into the last few minutes of our campaign, Jove, the magic of this place, that thunderstorm, that life, that every heartbeat, ripples across that bracelet, and the bracelet becomes real as you put it over Sela's wrist. And Sela, you feel it go from weightless to weighty, and you feel the love with which it was given. You each step inside. When you swore your oath, you felt a tug. And now you feel a release, a cutting of a rope. You are let go. You are set free. You have found where you need to be. And in this moment, each of you feels at one with every person on the river. And in the center of your group, Jove fades like mist on the water. And as he does, every single one of you tastes every meal he's ever cooked for you, feels every laugh you ever shared with him, every time he held your hands or held you, every smile, every creak, every joke. And you also see him become much younger, his walk straighten as he walks into the company of 2 people who look a lot like him and much younger. And then they're gone.
Can I
And that-
add that you just hear on the wind, be kind to each other as that happens.
And that is where we end.
Oh my god. That was beautiful.
I'm gonna go cry forever now.
We're gonna cry.
And it was so hard not to go smell you later.
Oh, you shut up!
That would've been-
That would have made me so happy.
Okay, so
Can I just say that was the most aesthetic, like the best snap I've ever heard, Ella. It sounded so good. It was so clean and
Excellent Foley work.
I do love sound design. So thank you all for watching this campaign of Upriver Downriver. I hope you have enjoyed watching it as much as we have enjoyed playing it. Please consider checking out this game. I made it. I think it's cool. And please consider following and supporting our incredible cast in their many adventures in the world. Cast, I would like you all to tell us who you are and where we can find you, starting with Amber.
Hello, my name is Amber. You can find me everywhere as Tin Can Audio. I make music, I make audio drama podcasts. I made the soundtrack to this game. So if you've been enjoying the music that's been playing while we've been playing, you can find it on Bandcamp and on Spotify. Just Upriver Downriver. And yeah, I think that's all I'll plug today.
Cool. Zania.
Hi, I'm Zania Fernandez. Everybody knows me as Zanianator over on YouTube and everything. I am a D&D content creator. I make animatics of the most the coolest campaign I've ever been a part of that's still ongoing. It's Shadow Puppet Theater. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, pretty much anywhere as long as you type in Zanianator. That's me. Sorry, I'm still crying.
That is okay.
That's fair.
I'm with you, babe. Lily.
Hi, I am Lily. I am Elise on Life on Twitter and Blue Sky, and I am Lily PHL on Instagram, where I post pictures of all this stuff that I crochet and the jewelry that I make. And I'm Lescribe in Twitch and Discord. I have, I participate in Girls Run These Worlds, so you might see me in other campaigns or one-shots here on the Girls Run These Worlds Twitch. But I also have a podcast called Blurred on the Street, where it is me, my sister, and a mutual friend. We talk about being Black women in geeky spaces and also current events and whatever really occurs to us. I'm also in the podcast Misfits of Space, which is an actual play podcast. We have done the Star Wars FFG system. We have done Monster Hearts 2, and right now we are doing Scum and Villainy. And then coming soon, I'll be in a podcast on the Bard Rock Network called Left for Undead, which is a post-apocalyptic, zombie sort of thing. And Greetings from Stability, which we are premiering. That's another podcast, and we're premiering right around Halloween, and that is going to be a horror actual play. We're going to do a bunch of different systems, but we started with Sleepaway.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, love Sleepaway. Shaik.
Yeah. Hi again, or bye for now. I'm Sharik, and I have done a lot of other sort of playing in TTRPGs for as content for people to consume. But it's always done in sort of anonymous settings where I use a pseudonym and stuff. But hey, if you want me to be on your stream or podcast, fucking send me a message somewhere. I've got Blue Sky that I'm trying to use. It's just my name, Shavik. But I'm sure my Twitter's somewhere in there as well. But my god, if you send me a message, I will see it in 2 months, so be patient. Anyway, other than that, look at my face.
That's it. Woo!
Woohoo!
And last but not least, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Berkshire. You can find me on things at Critical Spark 20. I know stuff. Me on Discord. Love to hear about the cool stuff you're doing. Want to watch your shit. You can find me probably doing other stuff with the Girls Run These Worlds because it's amazing. You can also find me over at Fablemancers. We have something cool and nightmarish in the works that's going to be coming up soon, hopefully October, November. Otherwise, yeah, I'll be here. I'll be kicking it. I'm on Instagram. Look at my cats and my dice. And yeah, thank you, Ella, for running such a fucking beautiful game and including me. And I'm very happy and very sad all at the same time.
Thank you.
I'm gonna miss you guys so much.
God, me too.
I know!
I'm Ella Watts. You can find me on socials at GEJ Watts. I make podcasts and I'm a voice director. I also made this game, so please check out this game. You can get both PDF and hard copies from McGuffin and Company. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I mean that's pretty much it. Just at GEJ Watts on socials, you'll find the stuff I do. Alrighty, announcements are on Thursdays. We've got Alien Destroyer of Worlds, sponsored by Free League. Join Game Mother Fiona and her crack team of Colonial Marines as she throws them through a gauntlet of one hell after another. It's all very intense. It's all very cool. Shamini Bundela's in it. I love Shamini a lot, and I think she's really cool. Cryptic Creeks hit Kickstarter on September 5th. That was a little while ago now. You can back it right now. Check it out. And we've cooked up something with Hatchling Games to showcase this adventurous new system. Check out the YouTube exclusive. It's a YouTube exclusive, so it's just on YouTube, y'all. With JC Darcy, Liv Kennedy, Gus, Ida, and Mo. Then back the Kickstarter to get your hands on the game yourself. Finally, consider throwing us a Twitch subscription, renewing your free Prime sub, or dropping us a couple bucks on our Ko-fi. It all goes to this incredible cast. Hi, that's us. And the entire team that helped us get here, including our amazing producer, Arnica. If we are, I'm very grateful to you all for watching the stream. I stopped a bit there because I wasn't sure if my producer was trying to tell me something, but I don't think that was happening. So thank you very much for your patience. I hope you had fun, and thank you most of all to my incredible crew for the journey that you came on.
Thank you. God.
Thank you, Ella.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Ella.
Thank you.
Thank
One
you.
last
Thank
time,
everybody.
a very long wave.
Goodbye.
Bye. Hands!
Hands! Hands!